Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. Happy Lawn Maintenance Tuesday to you and yours. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you do. We got you covered when that's the case. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Go back, catch up at your leisure there. You can also use the free WTSM app. Download that from your app store. It's free, WTSM. Type that in. You're good to go. You can listen to the show that way or get caught up within the app. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Hello, YouTubers. We're back on there. Camera's working. That's a good thing. Matthew's back in studio directing where he's supposed to be. He's not shirking his responsibilities yet again today. We welcome him back. We get a little frustrated around here. Some people were saying disparaging things about Matthew, but I told him, please, back off. Matthew would be here if he could.
He hasn't missed many days in his time here, has he?
No. This one just kind of overlapped the weekend, though. Really seems suspicious.
It did, didn't it?
You don't miss like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, no. Friday, Monday. I see how we're going to go.
The old Sunday night. I'm not sure I can make it in tomorrow.
We'll see there, man. It's a toughie.
Okay.
Could be a good time. Well, what happens this weekend? That very thing. It's why every year we go, man, why don't we make the Super Bowl on a Saturday? Can we get with the getting? Now, I'm of the age and of the mindset that the Super Bowl is not what it used to be for me. It was an excuse to party with my friends, the Super Bowl was. But I don't feel that way about the Super Bowl anymore. It's not a big party day for me. Maybe it's because we're immersed in sports. It's what we do. We love the games. We watch the games. And I'm sure by the time they kick this thing off, I'll even feel a measure of excitement and enthusiasm just because of the grand spectacle that is the Super Bowl. But it's a chance to kind of get away from a large group of people. My wife years ago stopped asking me when we got invites from friends and family to Super Bowl parties if I wanted to go. The answer is always no. If I'm paid to go to a watch party and celebrate in grand fashion at a local establishment that we love and that wants us around, then by all means.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, I'm chilling.
But that would be a Super Sunday watch party, of course.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah, indeed. A Super Sunday watch party. Mm-hmm. One of those things. Well, we're not plugging anything. I'm not going to get in trouble.
But it's the big game day.
Yeah.
This Sunday.
They would always send that out. We weren't allowed to say Super Bowl, but we're not doing anything for the Super Bowl, so I can say Super Bowl.
Yes,
I'm talking about the damn Super Bowl, not the big game Super Sunday.
I'm
talking about the Super freaking Bowl is what I'm talking about. And, people use it as a big party on a Sunday, and then they're hurting on Monday, and they stumble into work in a stupor and say, good grief, it was just the Super Bowl. Why did I do that?
My team wasn't even in it.
No, I think you know what that's about? I always think that's about the pushing back the reality of the situation, which is this Sunday, if you don't have a team in the hunt, only two fan bases do, you come to the stark reality that, well, that's it for football. And with each passing play, quarter, minute of that game, you're like, whew, we are really moving rather rapidly towards that frontier of nothingness that I despise, because a landscape without football is, in the beginning stages, tough to grasp, tough to digest.
But that's where in a couple of years the XFL is going to rescue us all.
No, that won't work at all. It's and again, maybe it's a byproduct of just growing older, but I'm kind of I am in so many ways tied to the hip of the various seasons. I'm always ready to move on. I didn't used to be. I'm ready to move from football. Even as a sports talk show host, I'm ready to move from football when it's over. I'm not saying, hey, hurry up and be over. But when it's finally over, I accept it. It's like the end of a relationship. You're going to have to go your way. I'm going to have to go mine. We need some perspective. You go away for a little while so that I can remember what it was like to really appreciate you. You've been around too frequently these days. Everywhere I look, you're around football. I need you to go away. And soon enough, I'll remember what it is that I miss terribly about you.
Sure, that'll be probably around March or April, right? Something like that. I mean, I know you're a baseball guy.
I'm a
but
baseball
still,
guy, yeah.
When we get through spring ball, you're like, all right, so see you in 3 months?
You
4
asked me
months?
the question. I do get excited, I guess, about National Signing Day. I mean, it is kind of weird right now, by the way, with National Signing Day because we had the early signing period and something like 75 to 80% for a lot of these big schools' classes were already compiled. So you're not awaiting these magnificent shifts in momentum and recruiting over the waning days towards National Signing Day. Although it is different for us here at Florida State because our guys are still hoofing it out on the road trying to close strong with this class. And by all accounts, it appears that they're going to do so. We talked about the 2 players yesterday, and we continue to monitor closely what's going on in Tampa and other locales and Alabama and places like that where we're visiting guys. But again, that's not my forte. It's not the thing I engage in every day that I go crazy about. I sit back, I watch, I ask people about names. I ask people, that Peters kid, what's the deal with him? Oh, heard back that he's really good. Initially, people were cool on him because grades were an issue. Grades aren't an issue anymore. Physically, he's a freak. All right, good. Got a good player. But we'll see, right? It's more of a wait-and-see thing with these players. I always look 2 and 3 years down the road. I get it's the lifeblood, all that good stuff. But for us, it is because we're trying to close late and salvage something of that class, and they have done absolute yeoman's work. It is a reason to celebrate come signing day, and I think we will. But that is really the last vestige of football for a long time.
Yeah, until we get spring practice. But even that's about fact-finding about who the coaches are, and it's not about the nuance of preparing for a game. But
this year it'll be about scheme, though. This year it'll be about watching the scheme play out.
Yeah, no, and we'll see what kind of access we get to it, and that's all exciting too. But I think where I agree with you, at least the proof is, yesterday I watched far too much last night, the second half, of Duke and Notre Dame.
And it was an ass beat.
That's what I'm saying.
It was never close.
Oh, it was a total, just absolute.
It was an awful game.
It was awful.
Can I confess something on that note? Because I watched some of that game, too.
It was good, though. The broadcast partners, McDonough and Billis, are perfect because they're both snarky enough for each other. They fit nicely together. That should be the team.
It's interesting, by the way, there are several really good broadcast teams in college basketball. There are 3 or 4 that I really enjoy, that I think do a good job. That is one of them, by the way. I will say, well, in anything that Fran Fraschilla is involved in, I enjoy greatly, and he's fun to talk to and really insightful and smart. He's been asked tough questions lately. The problem is when you're a former coach and you become a color analyst, and now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the college basketball season, and you're on as a frequent guest all over the country, the question you get more than any other currently is Izzo, Michigan State. And if you don't know that backstory, they're friends. That's a tough deal because there's no, you can't ignore that is a huge story. We brought it up yesterday, if only because I was talking about how gaunt he looked and how I don't think he's going to make it out of this. I think that Michigan State situation is such that I'm not so sure either the football coach D'Antoni or Izzo are going to make it out. And these guys are icons at that place. And now listen again. The hows and whys and who did what and all these things are playing out before our eyes, and we're reading every day just like everybody else. It's not something I want to get mired in the muck in because it's frankly a disgusting story if even a third of it is true. But those 2 guys, man, it's an interesting time. I think, and we learn from these moments, obviously, everything that goes on, whether it's off the field transgressions, crimes, whatever it might be, mismanagement of players and coaches or money or whatever it could be in any situation, you like to learn from, and it appears no universities are immune to this sort of thing. But when you're going through it at the time, you are reminded, and if we think about the bigger picture and the larger conversation in general that's going on in this country, period, you are reminded that culture is a big deal. Like the created culture at a university or within an athletic department or even within a program within that athletic department is very important because it's the kind of thing that you find out later on, oftentimes well after the fact, that would allow for those kinds of transgressions to be largely ignored and be ignored, dare I say, in some situations, by otherwise outwardly appearing and maybe perhaps profoundly true throughout their life, good guys.
That's the hard point to make in the midst of a developing story like this.
It's very hard to make that point. And I'm not going down that road right now.
No.
You know this, though, because you go through and you read the accounts of 30 years worth of coaching and 30 years worth of players and assistant coaches and administrators and others that will come to a guy's aid in a moment like this, and it makes you wonder, because usually you raise an eyebrow and go, now is the time you want to do that?
Sure.
And
they know that. The person knows that before they hit the microphone or get in front of the camera.
And it lets you realize that it's again gray. It's very, it's gray.
Sure. But some things can be black and white too at the same time.
Obviously, and we don't have to make apologist conversation. We don't. I get if you're guilty of a crime and somebody sweeps it under the rug and ignores it and does not adhere to the law or to standard, then obviously they got to suffer the consequences. Everybody gets that. That's obvious, right?
It's an important story, there's no doubt, and it's going to be one of the sports stories of the year, and we're only in January. I mean, this isn't going to go away. Time is going to look back at this circumstance for precedent on a lot of things, not just what the NCAA comes down and does or what the legal system comes down and does, because the Attorney General, who is, looking for a governorship, I believe he's running for governor, he's launched a full investigation. This is his chance to really stay out in the limelight, so he will, and, the ends could justify the means here. But this would be a tough one to cover because, again, you just get to a very foundational point in the timeline of these events since last, fall.
Mm-hmm.
D'Antonio was lying in front of the camera. He's lying to the assembled media, being asked a direct question about handling this specific type of circumstance. And it's not a legal protection thing.
Yeah, what he's lying about, though, Tom, is whether or not it had happened before. And that's a big deal in terms of you deciding whether or not he's credible. I got that. But we don't know specifically beyond the fact that in his mind, it's almost like a lie of omission. He's trying to suggest to you that, listen, we don't have any experience in this. I don't know really what to say here because this is all new. Well, it's not new. He did have to deal with it, and he knew that when he said that, and that's unfortunate deflection in front of the cameras. It's the very thing politicians do all the time, sort of, I don't want to have to get immersed in this. I don't want to get mired in this, so I'm going to deflect and move on in the hopes that I get a different question, in this case involving football. And it does affect credibility, but what it doesn't do is necessarily show, and we don't know this, and that's why we're going to sit back and watch, what specifically did he know about those accusations, those crimes, those kids, or anything. We don't know that.
Of course not, but, it's like in a court of law. If you say something stupid on the stand, it doesn't necessarily incriminate yourself, but it puts you in a circumstantial bind where it's about what looks good at this point. I mean, yes, if there is a way to prove that D'Antonio was not involved with this situation and that comes to light, then that is just thrown to the ether. However, in lieu of that, because we can't know that right now, and they play that on repeat time after time after time, and we know that is a bold-faced lie, that is a lie.
Yeah, no, he lied about that. Yeah,
it's tough to defend and run to the defense of this particular coach. Izzo doesn't have a smoking gun like that just yet, but D'Antonio does. In terms of what he said to the assembled press in the past, they don't have a clip like they do for the football coach.
No, it'll be, you're right, it'd be a difficult thing to cover if you're up there doing that sports radio. We're able to sit back and watch it all play out. I will just say this, though. I think we're all stunned, those of us that follow college athletics closely and big-time sports closely, to see so many instances now over the course of several years in which this all comes to light. And you realize that it's a good thing that we've moved into a realm both within university structure and I suppose as a society, that those kinds of things are no longer ignored. People are held accountable for egregious acts and crimes. And now you're seeing situations like you had, whether it goes all the way back to Penn State, Baylor, Michigan State. It's very interesting because you're talking about a systemic oversight.
Sure, but if you're talking about, let's just again say that you're in Detroit or East Lansing. I don't know how much of a sports radio presence they have there, but
I've been to East Lansing, had a wonderful 6 or 5 hours in East Lansing.
What are you going to cover the rest of the year? You know what I mean? Like, because now you're dealing with a new president, new athletic director. What is the football season even going to look like? Is this guy your head coach? And come fall workouts, come spring ball,
and all of that, admittedly, is something that you would place firmly on the back burner in light of actual crimes having been committed, because then it would feel obviously a little dirty be talking about wins and losses.
But if you're on a sports radio format,
that's what I mean. Though
and you got spring ball coming up soon, and you don't have an athletic director or a president to make these decisions. I mean, that's a hell of a thing.
We had a small taste of this centered around one player and an accusation against one player and the rest of the country looking at it from afar and writing their opinion of that, and then us feeling in a community like this as if we were under attack or in some way complicit. And that was very frustrating, just like no doubt right now the people at Michigan State who had nothing to do with nothing are saying, whoa, wait a minute now. You had a crazy doctor over here, and that is awful, and let's find out who allowed for that to happen and root him out of here, send him to jail, do whatever you got to do. But the next thing you know, that happens, and then, boom, the lights come on, and the cockroaches go running, and you find out that it may infect the programs you deeply care about, the very essence of the university and the people that are on that campus, and you think, oh, my, this is a bit overwhelming. What do you open with on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Like, the thing you love, that I was a part of, that you were a part of, is maybe in need of being torched?
So Bill Belichick was laughing on media night.
When you're reminded of what it was like for Penn State fans and alumni. Because I dare say all of us hold Bobby Bowden in such high regard, and his legend is fixed within the Florida State faithful, whether we were in favor of him moving on at the end of his coaching career sooner rather than later. And so imagine then what it was like where a similar figure in the university's history and in legend, Joe Paterno, is revealed in the way that he was. And woof.
I think if you're print or electronic media, meaning written, I think you have a different mandate than if you were doing something we're doing. I mean, I think if we were in this exact circumstance, you'd address at the top of each hour, and you'd say, we have nothing new. We're waiting for word.
When that happens, we will talk about it.
As
in the
for
interim,
now,
let's talk baseball.
Right, exactly.
You'd
You get as far away from it as you possibly could because you can't reiterate it.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's the point of that. And also, by the way, there are so many elements of this, and it gets difficult. It's obvious to anybody who's, and if you're certainly catering to the smartest guy in the room, not the dimmest, which is the goal, I think, on a day-to-day basis. It's low-hanging fruit to come on the air and to stand on the soapbox against, child molestation. Well, of course, we all agree on that, right? I'd be really alarmed if you didn't. We all concur. That's a horrible thing. Sex crimes are awful. Gotcha.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, my thoughts on this particular case.
You don't have to do that. You don't.
Well, I hope I know what they are. Because if I don't, you're fired.
Yeah.
So, let me just, I'll come back at quarter till.
But what happens is then people use that to bang their fists. And I get it, but it's a like-minded sort of common sense take that everybody would have if you're even a remotely decent human being. So you can't even do that.
Right. Well, and the hard part about covering it day to day is I can remember the thing I got most angry about during the Winston years was, as you recall, the Clemson game and the suspension being moved from a half game to a full game at the last moment, and then nobody being,
Well, we were in a transitional stage. Our president was an interim president and was leaving.
And nobody having the guts to stand before the assembled media and say that before Coach Fisher had his post-game press conference.
Yeah. Well, I felt for Fisher in that situation.
Me too. He got hung out to dry, and it's the biggest gaffe, I think,
that we watched happen, play out during that whole thing.
Outside of like the Leonard Hamilton has a contract, doesn't have an extension, does. I mean, that was just really weird.
Yeah, but that's sort of
But this is,
inconsequential.
I mean, Stan's hanging out in the turf room while Jimbo's answering all these questions. Listen, man, if you're not going to talk, you may as well not be in the room. Even if you're compelled not to talk, then don't be there, because this just looks so bad. You look rudderless. And in the Michigan State circumstance,
we were rudderless.
You actually, in Michigan, you don't have people. There's nobody there. Yeah. So who's setting up these press conferences? And I mean, is the sports information department dictating what happens?
Watch those press conferences. I continue to do so in awe. Watch as this scandal continues to grow all the time, and you watch guys like Izzo and guys like D'Antoni have to address the press, and there is nobody behind them. There's no somebody standing in the way saying, "Nah, we're not talking about that right now." These guys are just kind of swimming. Izzo's PR people, and on this show we always talk about the Jeff Cameron Show PR firm. Sometimes it's tongue-in-cheek, and sometimes it's a little bit more serious about what you should and shouldn't do. But clearly somebody has gotten into Izzo's ear and said, you are going to talk about, quote-unquote, the survivors. With every sentence that you speak, you will mention the survivors of these crimes. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but if you'll note, you have yet to see a press conference with him in which he did not cite the survivors.
But wouldn't you have recommended in that circumstance, if you're in the sports info department or you're somebody's agent, you either release a statement or read a statement before the cameras and say, I have no comment on this matter moving forward?
From this point forward, yes, you would release a statement, obviously aligning yourself with the side of a continued search for justice. And that with empathy and compassion for those who suffered at the hands of the guilty parties at the university. And you would then say, whatever that statement was, and then you would say, I am still employed, I have this job. You wouldn't say this publicly, but the stance would be basically, you have a job to do, and I've made my statement on this issue. We're moving forward. If you got basketball questions, I'll answer basketball questions. That's
precisely. You release the statement or you read the statement. You say you're not going to take questions. You take 2 questions, so the press feels like they're getting something extra. And then you answer them the way you want them to be answered. And then you end it. So you give them a bone, like, I said I wasn't going to answer, but you of the Detroit Free Press, you are so tough with your intrepid reporting and questions that I'm compelled to answer you here. And then don't answer the question at all. Answer it in a way that you have been told to answer the question, and then we're done here. Because this Wednesday practice report thing where you're fielding a couple of questions plan, that ain't going to work either. That's just stupid.
Yeah, thankfully you and I can sit around and worry about Florida State's basketball game tomorrow and National Signing Day just down the road. Woo! What a relief
nice
that
pivot.
is.
Very nice.
Well, it's just true. I mean, we're in a good position. But all of this is a reminder, once again, to something that I figured out a long time ago, and anybody who ages long enough and is invested emotionally or otherwise in their sports figures out. Your school, our school, these schools are not immune. It's them right now. It was Baylor before that. It was Penn State before that. It was whatever. It was, name your school, right? That when you do the pointing of the fingers and whether it's something as banal as maybe a recruiting benefit for a player or something like that, or something as serious as this, you learn like, oh, okay, and you have some sympathy for those who care about the institution and care about their players and coaches and all of that.
The machine isn't all evil, unless you're Baylor. But we'll find out how evil Michigan State's was.
It turned out Baylor was like across-the-board mandate evil, right? That was nuts, and it's not the first time.
Yeah.
Basketball program, my man Dave Bliss was the devil. God.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
The sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. Delay.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Here's a love story between a restaurant and its city, and the people of its city. For 45 years, Andrews has been serving up great food, great fun, and great memories in the heart of Tallahassee. Today, Andrews is better than ever. with an all-new look, Tallahassee's original Sunday brunch, a new outdoor pergola, and an incredible happy hour. All to bring the best of the best to you. Come make memories at Andrews. Better than ever.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Bandito's Burritos, my friend?
During Aaron's anniversary sale, you're going to be blown away. Get big lease-to-own savings on an LG 65-inch 4K TV, an Amana laundry pair, bedrooms, living rooms, and so much more. Plus, get 6 months same as cash with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. All month long, come to a participating Aaron's store and get 6 months same as cash. Or visit Aaron's.com during Aaron's anniversary sale. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
In a world of salt and ketchup, Taco Bell shakes up the game, only to expose a web of fries.
Fries seasoned in Mexican spices, dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce. They don't want these coming out.
Who's they?
The burger people. They!
Starring Nacho Fries in a performance that has critics craving. It'll change the way you look at fries, exclaims The Hollywood Reporter. $1 Nacho Fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
At participating location for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it gives me great pleasure to announce that Kraft Nissan has been designated by Thanks a Bunch, a nonprofit 501c3 military charity, as Tallahassee's exclusive Hero Appreciation dealer. Kraft Nissan will be honoring all of our friends and neighbors who are active and retired military, as well as all area first responders, including police, firefighters, and paramedics, now through Wednesday, January 31st, by giving away free $50 gift cards to these American heroes. These gift cards are good at over 25,000 restaurants nationwide and over 40,000 online choices. So please come to Kraft Nissan now through the end of the month for our first ever Hero Appreciation Week. And because this is a very heartfelt week for us, Kraft Nissan will offer the best deals on all of our new and used cars and trucks to all of our customers during this event. But just for joining us, Kraft Nissan will give a free $50 gift card to a local military or first responder with no purchase necessary. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. See dealer for details. Some conditions apply.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Feels like that kind of song today. Just the day feels like this.
Well, I figured coming out of a heavy topic segment too, this is a nice little, reset.
It was a really observational segment more than heavy. It's about heavy stuff, but we ended with a breath of fresh air, noting that we're not going through that, girl. We're talking about things like recruiting and basketball and all that good stuff.
Over 500 in the ACC, that's what we're talking about.
Buddy. Alabama's not going to finish with the #1 class in recruiting. That's an aside and newsworthy in and of itself. Alabama will not have the #1 class, so projected now by almost every site that does these covers this sort of thing. That's cool. Sure, it has much more to do with maybe size of class as opposed to quality, but it's just nice for once on National Signing Day when you sit back and you see the tally, and they're at the desk talking about this class and that class, and they go, "Hey, look. Ohio State. Hey, look, Georgia. Hey, look, somebody other than Alabama has the #1 class."
Wow, and on top of them not winning the national, their backup quarterback is good.
Well, their now starting quarterback is really good, and he won't relinquish that barring injury, one wouldn't think.
No, I agree.
Okay, so that's part of the larger talking point. When I filled in on the full ride on SiriusXM nationally, Tom, and I did that show with Rick Neuheisel, as you'll recall, and many others nationally.
How could I forget?
I asked that question to he and Paul Feinbaum when he joined the show, that whether or not Alabama was good for football. I noted college football.
Did Paul pivot to phone callers to answer the questions you gave him?
Ordinarily, that is the fallback technique, but no, there were none on the line at the time, so he deferred to Coach Neuheisel after answering the question straightforward, which I'll give him credit.
He answered it himself.
He did. He did not have a
how
guest
about that?
or somebody else answer it. That's true. And he said probably not, and I agreed with that. I noted today, earlier, as I was on my way in, the commute, if you will. I don't tend to listen to a lot of sports talk radio. That's you don't either, I don't think, because this is what we do. And you don't want to be unduly influenced by other shows, topics, or opinions. And it can just happen if you listen to a lot of it. I found that out years and years ago, just listening to talk radio all day, because I'm a fan of talk radio. I'm a big fan of the effectiveness of talk radio, and also the medium itself is a lot of fun, and I'm glad I have this job. But when you listen to other shows, if you're listening within the realm of what you do, you can be, as I said, unduly influenced.
I mean, I listen to us, morning, mid-morning with Le Batard. I'll put it on TV when I'm working at my desk if the studio's in use. And then usually around 1 o'clock if I'm driving in, 1 to 3 if I'm later, I'll listen to the ESPNU radio because it either is Staples or Seth Greenberg's on and they're talking hoops or whatever.
Well, what I'm saying is if I did not do this for a living, I would have it on at all times, as I did when I was not doing this for a living. I listened to sports talk all day long because I'm a sports fan, so that's what you did. You got up in the morning, you went to bed at night listening. I literally would go to bed at night listening to sports talk radio. But I do work in this industry, so I choose to usually disconnect in that way. The point would be occasionally I'll come across other shows because there are people who I think are immensely talented and who do a great job, and there's nothing new under the sun. We can all learn from one another, and so occasionally I'll tune into something and say, that's a good idea. Maybe Tom and I could do that, or that's something I'd like to utilize, or boy, they do that really well. I couldn't pull that off, but they do that well. Or other times they go, that's terrible.
You know, I listened to, when I was leaving Tampa on Monday morning, Dan Patrick is on now. They put, they've kind of separated themselves from ESPN in the mornings, so they went to Dan Patrick. That show is the exact same. Not a thing has changed since we used to listen to it every day in the background when we were working at the old place.
Well, the point of all that is to say this: the discussion that I happened to come across today was on SiriusXM, where I sometimes fill in, Tom, and where I do host a show along with my good friend Trey Jones of Florida State University on the PGA Tour Network Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. And they were asking the question. Eastern
okay.
time. That's correct. Yep. Prime time, drive time in L.A.
See what I did?
Yeah, I saw you. And so one thing I'll tell you is that the question was, or the observation was, that it's not healthy for college football, that it seems the number of teams that can win a national championship are getting to be fewer and fewer and fewer. And I said, well, wait a minute now. We're just going to steal my topic? I brought this up 2 weeks ago. I've been talking about it for some time. I actually talked about it on the roof at Doak Campbell Stadium with another individual on the beat one time. I said, man, are we getting to a place where, the competition – see, my big problem that I've said for years in women's basketball is there are like 4 teams that can win a title, 3, maybe 5 at best sometimes that can win a national title. That's not good. That's not a balance of competition. That's we don't have a competitive balance. We're getting closer and closer, it seems, to that in football. And while our team is listed amongst those that do, it's still disappointing to know that there isn't more competitive balance. And they were getting into that today about how many teams do you think legitimately have a chance to win a national title in the coming years? And I don't want to steal that topic since I originally brought it up to begin with, but I will say that number is no greater than 10.
That might even be a little generous, too.
I think I am being generous if I include a couple of Pac-12 teams that I don't think have a chance, but I'll include them for the sake of the discussion.
Yeah, you could list more in the BCS era, right? Because it's just about getting to the game and navigating your schedule undefeated. But now if you have to play the extra layer, that is to say you'd have to beat an Alabama and an Oklahoma or an
Clemson
Alabama
can,
and somebody
Oklahoma
else.
can, Georgia can, Alabama can, Florida State can, when they're right. Certainly not last year. I said Oklahoma. Oh, Ohio State, obviously.
Right.
We're running out of teams, man.
If you're Southern Cal and you make it, well, that's great. You know, the schedule's tough enough and you win the Pac-12, but okay.
Anybody else in that conference? Washington?
But even still, what I'm saying is they get there and you got to win twice? You got to win the whole damn thing?
I know what you're saying. I'm saying how many teams can will we include them in the legitimate competition to win a national title conversation? It doesn't really get beyond maybe if you're being awfully generous and you assume some good bounces and health stays intact and all, maybe 10 teams.
Well, and that's maybe potentially. Maybe you could get out to 12, 14 potentially, but at this given moment, how many teams are capable of winning the national title? 4? Honestly.
Because I don't think you can really separate that out because, again, health plays such a big part. And if you have frontline talent for 22 starters and no depth, if they all happen to stay healthy, which is a gigantic IF, but if that were to happen, then, yeah, there are some teams capable of fielding for a day the capability of beating an Alabama or any of these other elite teams if they have the squad, the 22. I know you got to get through another team, but I'm just saying, you stay healthy, you could do it. It's highly unlikely. And in those scenarios, you would include a couple of extra teams. But you're asking realistically, and again, then we're having to count, we're having to assume some things. Maybe Penn State,
Well, who could legitimately win next year given what we know? Alabama, yes, of course.
Alabama, of course.
Georgia, yes.
Yes, of course.
Clemson.
Yes, of course.
Ohio State.
Yes, of course.
Beyond that, Auburn lost 4 games last year. They would have put it together and gotten to the champion or to the playoff with 2 losses.
I'm gonna say
LSU?
No.
Us? Probably not, right?
You're saying potentially
for this upcoming season with what we know
this
now.
upcoming season,
Yeah.
I would say.
You could probably find another team that
I might get to 6 because
Right.
I would maybe welcome in. Oh, that's tough. I don't know.
But that's my point.
I really
obviously,
am pushing it at that point.
There's going to be teams that have more veteran players next year, experience, all that stuff. But
the point, the
in a
overriding
given
point,
season,
right.
6 teams.
Okay, so the overriding point is once again intact here, which is that. Listen, man, that's bad for the sport. When you whittle it down to 4 or 5 fan bases believing they have a legitimate shot to compete for a national title, then you do not have the kind of competitive balance that you're seeking. You don't. And this is the thing that I brought up about being old school and not saying, hey, it's listen, we're all inclined. It's a trick our brain plays on us to engage in nostalgia, that things were better at a different time. That you can always find the wrong with the now and the great with yesteryear, even though if you were to transport back at that time, those problems existed then too, or they were a different set of problems that you were seeking to get out from underneath from. But the fact is, legitimately, there was a time in college football, a very flawed time in college football, where the pool of teams that had a legitimate chance to win it numbered in the 20s and 30s. Now, the odds were stacked against most of them, but if they were in the right conference with the right schedule and some things happened elsewhere because the writers were voting, we had the AP and the UPI, then an 84 in BYU could happen, or the Georgia Tech year could happen. The Colorado year could happen. That's the same year as the Georgia Tech year. But those years could happen, and you'd go, well, okay. It was legit. You could get late into a season where programs that had no business being in the conversation would still be in the conversation. Therefore, their fans, may have been false hope nonetheless, were involved. That just doesn't happen anymore, man. If you root for, and again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here because this is a conversation we've had. If you, again, go to root for a university like Virginia or name that middling team in every Power 5 conference.
Utah.
Right. You cannot win a national title. You are not now. You're not going into this upcoming year with any belief steeped in reality that you can win a national title. It just can't happen. You don't have the horses. You don't have the means. You don't have the infrastructure. You don't have the investment. You cannot do it.
I agree. Now, this is, this, but just for clarity's sake, this is something that predates the playoff. This isn't a playoff-specific argument. This is just about the arms race in college football that's run independent of BCS turning to playoff.
Mm-hmm. The more that it's resembled professional football, the worse it's gotten for competitive balance. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9, ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
Seasons change, but your confidence in your home comfort system shouldn't. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, you'll be comfortable in your home all year long. This winter, take advantage of great rebates and 0% APR financing for 36 months. Learn more online at BaranoAC.com.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Florida license number CAC 057652.
It's easy to get game day ready at your local CVS pharmacy, where you'll find everything you need to score and save big. This week only, 12 packs of Coke are 5 for $15. Select M&M's, Hershey's Kisses, and Starburst are buy one, get one 50% off. And 12-inch DiGiorno pizzas are just 2 for $10. Restrictions apply. See circular or cvs.com/weekly ad for details. Feel good? Save money at your neighborhood CVS pharmacy.
Ah, the perfect lunch spot. A nearly impossible find. Thankfully for Tallahassee, we have Metro Deli. A downtown gem for over 15 years, Metro Deli is locally owned and features the best deli meats, cheeses, breads, and ingredients in the city. Enjoy daily specials and soups, salads and wraps. There's something for everyone. Metro Deli offers online ordering for pickup or delivery and will cater your office breakfast or lunch too. Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot is Metro Deli. MetroDeliTally.com. That's MetroDeliTally.com.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Severe nausea. So bad you think you might just vomit. If these statements describe you, and you've been diagnosed with gastroparesis, you might qualify for a clinical study that tests a new medication for nausea and the symptoms of gastroparesis. Qualified participants will receive study-related care and medication at no charge. Call 844-902-1212. That's 844-902-1212. This ad sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Did guard Jake Felton. Yeah. Well, they didn't reveal the details of his suspension. Must be mass murder. There is no way for a North Carolina athlete, program, or coach to be suspended in any capacity, right? It is impossible. The evidence must be overwhelming or egregious to a level that we haven't yet read about or seen. So I'm guessing, again, mass murder. Safe guess.
Not a fraud of any kind, clearly.
No, I'm just putting my foot in the pool here. I'm going to go ahead and ante up. I got you. I feel like I got a good answer on this. Mass murder. And we'll see if the NCAA acts. Not that they should in the case of mass murder. They certainly would not, Tom.
Well, given the institution.
Again, not that they should in that situation, but they should. They would not. Pretty cool during the break. I got a tweet come my way that just so you know out there, we're about the community, trying to help out, do what we can. Bumpus is hiring. Ooh, another establishment.
Another establishment.
Just something to note. Just a little something to throw out there, a little nugget, if you will. This is a short segment, so I'll utilize this one to do a non-sports observation.
I wonder who owns Bumpus.
I don't know. I'll have to check into it, but it's in a good locale there. It's right there where the CJ's is.
You should ask Eddie.
I will. He knows everybody in this town. The Chicago Sun-Times, Tom, has suspended Richard Roper. You know who Richard Roper is?
I do, and I can't think of it on the spot.
He's a film critic and columnist there for the Chicago Sun-Times.
Ebert and Roper.
That's right. That's what it became after Roger and
Siskel.
Ebert. Well, Siskel died and Roger Ebert died, and then it became Ebert and Roper, and now I think it's just, is it just Roper? Nobody really watches that anymore. That was a thing. I used to love Siskel and Ebert.
My name is Richard Roper.
It went south in a hurry, though, man. Siskel and Ebert were there kicking ass, taking names. Everybody watched it, and then all of a sudden, death. Just like Gene Siskel went
right, he was the skinny one. Yeah,
Siskel was gone. You're like, well, Roger Ebert is smart, insightful. Hopefully he'll just keep things rolling. Oh, Ebert's in trouble. So here's the deal. Not to make light of all that, I actually miss Roger Ebert. He was fantastic at his work.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was good. He was really good. If you go to their website, if you go to his website and you go back and read through some of his, really, really well done. He was a talented writer.
How long do you wait before you read, critics' reviews of movies?
I don't know. I mean, I might accidentally come across them these days. I think shows like that have gone the way of the dodo, if only because of things like Rotten Tomatoes, which now we learn is fixed as well. So, I don't know.
I just mean in terms of, if you want to see a movie, you see the movie. How long before you allow yourself to fully vet what you believe?
I might read significant, if there are a few sites that I think are a cut above, that do a very good job.
But not before you go see the movie?
No, I won't read full reviews. If I already wanted to see the movie and I thought the subject matter was intriguing and the actors, I find their work to be compelling, and the writing and the writers, and then I'll go see it before I might read a headline, You might see something that you're like, oh, that stinks. One of my favorite reviewers, who I'm usually in lockstep with, seems to think this is a bitter disappointment. Like that. But that you hate that when you see that headline. You're like, oh, man.
I stay the hell away from it. I may entertain an IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes because they can get things wrong for either reason. So
right.
I'm not learning anything. I'm just like, oh, they like it. Oh, they hate it. I may like it. I may hate it.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
but I can't go
And it's
read
really
reviews
that kind of flighty, yeah.
because then I'm going to only see what I read in
You'll
the
see
review.
the flaw.
And it ruins the movie, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. There are, and this is a whole other topic. It might be a podcast type thing if we ever go down that road and start doing more of that. The funniest thing about movies is you do begin to realize, especially ones that are certainly not flight of fancy, right? They are serious films. There's character development, and it takes time, and there are serious topics. Those kinds of movies, you need to be in the right headspace. I mean, you realize that more than anything else. Like, I need to be alert. I need to have been well rested. I'm ready to lock in, be focused, pay attention, because whether I hate it or love it, I need to give it a fair shake. Because the worst is we get so much access, and it's a great thing. Again, you have access to these films rather quickly these days on any number of whether it's Netflix or Amazon or whatever it is that you utilize on demand with Comcast, whatever it is. But you can watch and we all have big screens now, so it's not like it's suffering the way that it used to. If you didn't go to the theaters back in the day and then you watched it on your glass tube 32-inch, I mean, you were missing out on the whole experience. It's not true anymore. You got a 70-inch television in your house and surround sound, you're not missing a whole hell of a lot. So anyhow, the point would be this. You flip it around, you come across a blockbuster or something that is 3 hours long, requires investment, and it's 10:30. You've had 3 beers.
Yeah.
That's not the time, man. You can't do that to yourself, and it's unfair to the film.
Well, especially if it's the first time, you know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, only the first time.
Only the first. After that, then whatever.
Even still, though, for a good one that we usually, call upon, Children of Men.
Great film, but you better be in the right headspace.
You got to be willing to watch. You can't just be willy-nilly like, I fell asleep. What happened?
No, that's annoying.
You'd also have nightmares.
I'd kick you out of the room if you pulled some nonsense.
You'd
like
hear
that.
everything that's going on. It'd be just terrifying.
That's a deep film.
You've got to be locked in.
You can't half-step with Memento or things like that either,
Yeah.
Memento, you'd be like, what the hell? What's going on here? No, but I brought this up only because, Tom, I assure you my Twitter followers are real. Chicago Sun-Times has suspended Richard Roper. They're trying to figure out if his Twitter followers are real. You hear this is a thing? Did you know this?
Oh, yeah, the fake. Yeah, you can vet people on that stuff. Yeah.
I did not know this. I did not know it was a thing. The Chicago Sun-Times announced that it will no longer be publishing anything by film critic and columnist Richard Roper until it completes an investigation of his Twitter followers. Roper was named in a New York Times investigation into the bullying and selling of fake Twitter followers as a media personality with a significant number of fake followers. The article didn't go into Roper's case in detail, but it did include him an interactive image listing prominent accounts with the following vague caption. Many of these celebrities, business leaders, sports stars, and other Twitter users bought their own followers, records show. In other cases, the purchases were made by their employees, agents, family members, or other associates. It's unclear what category Roper falls into, but the Times said, well, we got to look into it. We have become aware of these Roper issues and the fake Twitter followers, and we won't have it. We need to make sure that the 225,000 Twitter followers that are following Richard Roper are legit.
You can do a quick scan of people, and typically a website can vet it for you and give you a rough percentage estimate of what percentage are real and what percentage are bots. But even still, okay, that's really stupid because you feel like you need more followers to gain more credibility.
Well, it makes you a slave to social media, which makes you...
But then you're going to suspend somebody because they bought fake followers?
To draw more attention to them and your paper? I don't know. I just assure you that Twitter follower, I want your sex, is real, Tom. And I know this. It is a real follower and not a bot. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Bandito's Burritos, my friend?
During Aaron's anniversary sale, you're going to be blown away. Get big lease-to-own savings on an LG 65-inch 4K TV, an Amana laundry pair, bedrooms, living rooms, and so much more. Plus, get 6 months same as cash with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. All month long, come to a participating Aaron's store and get 6 months same as cash. Or visit Aaron's.com during Aaron's anniversary sale. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
In a world of salt and ketchup, Taco Bell shakes up the game, only to expose a web of fries.
Fries seasoned in Mexican spices, dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce. They don't want these coming out.
Who's they?
The burger people. They!
Starring Nacho Fries in a performance that has critics craving. It'll change the way you look at fries, exclaims The Hollywood Reporter. $1 Nacho Fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
At participating location for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it gives me great pleasure to announce that Kraft Nissan has been designated by Thanks a Bunch, a nonprofit 501c3 military charity, as Tallahassee's exclusive Hero Appreciation Dealer. Kraft Nissan will be honoring all of our friends and neighbors who are active and retired military, as well as all area first responders, including police, firefighters, and paramedics, now through Wednesday, January 31st, by giving away free $50 gift cards to these American heroes. These gift cards are good at over 25,000 restaurants nationwide and over 40,000 online choices. So please come to Kraft Nissan now through the end of the month for our first ever Hero Appreciation Week. And because this is a very heartfelt week for us, Kraft Nissan will offer the best deals on all of our new and used cars and trucks to all of our customers during this event. But just for joining us, Kraft Nissan will give a free $50 gift card to a local military or first responder with no purchase necessary. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. See dealer for details. Some conditions apply.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
For 45 years, Andrews has been serving up memories in the heart of Tallahassee. Today, Andrews is better than ever with an all-new look, Tallahassee's original Sunday brunch, and a new outdoor pergola. Make memories at Andrews, better than ever.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. John Wall scheduled to undergo an arthroscopic procedure on his left knee, and the Wizards are expected to be without the all-star point guard for up to 2 months. He's been experiencing inflammation and soreness since November in his latest knee issue. The newest Pistons, Blake Griffin, Willie Reed, and Bryce Johnson won't play tonight against the Cavaliers. They need to undergo physicals and won't play until Thursday against the Grizzlies at the earliest. One day after the Indians announced they'd no longer use Chief Wahoo as a symbol after this season, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he didn't see anything changing with the Washington Redskins nickname.
Native Americans do not take that in a negative fashion, the Redskins logo or the Redskins name. The Redskins, they've done a tremendous amount of work here, and I think Dan continues to believe in the name, and I don't see him changing that perspective.
Roger Goodell on Golic and Wingo. He was citing a Washington Post poll from May of 2016 that said 90% of the 504 Native Americans it polled did not find the team's name or logo offensive.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good afternoon, my friends. Little On Maintenance Tuesday action. Hope you're doing well. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you can go to listen live via the streaming. Of course, you can always just listen to us on your radio. That's a good thing. If you miss portions of the program, even all of it, you can go back and get caught up. That's a good thing, too. All 3 hours posted every day upon the conclusion of the show, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Feel free to email the program if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. We're on Twitter at J Cameron Show, WTSM app, free app, listen, mobile devices, all that. Back on YouTube now that things have been repaired with, Matthew's health, I should say. He's doing better, and that's good. And that also means that you can watch us using the Periscope on Twitter.
That's correct. At 979 ESPN Radio on Twitter.
Sunday, 6:30, Philadelphia, New England. Who you got? I haven't even asked you yet this week who you're picking.
I am leaning toward Philadelphia on Tuesday.
To win the game.
Yes.
To win the game. That means you believe that Philadelphia will get another exceptional performance from Mr. Foles, but moreover, you believe they're going to run the football, shorten the game, play great defense.
Yeah,
which was the recipe for success for Jacksonville that nearly worked.
Yeah, I think the last part about playing great defense is where I start, but I agree with everything that is listed out there. It's just, to me, if you look at the matchup and what's hurt New England, obviously, in the past, and how it hurts any team, really, you got a good defensive line against the run, and you got a good defensive line to get after the passer with a decent secondary. There's a lot to overcome for New England, and right now, Philadelphia is a team that has a lot of momentum, and I think has played with greater consistency, even without its starting quarterback, than New England has. This was a very fallible New England team
all year
for most of the season, right? So it wouldn't surprise me to see Philadelphia play toe-to-toe with them, if not better than New England.
Every Super Bowl that New England's played in, it's been a toe-to-toe close game, down-to-the-wire matchup. So I think you're right to maybe assume that teams don't get to the Super Bowl by accident. They bring a little something else to the table. It's not just New England. I think the awe-inspiring statistic is that more often than not, even in dire circumstances, New England has found a way, and Brady has found a way, and they've cemented their legend in that regard. Just another reminder here that Nick Foles, whom I trashed, I think, in the build-up to the Minnesota game, deserves certainly a lot of credit, and that my man went 26 of 33. That is almost 80% against Minnesota's defense, which was one of the best in the NFL and was the best in third down defense that the NFL had seen in almost 40 years. He 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks in that NFC Championship game. I mean, if they get anything resembling that, and they won't because that's incredible, and you really don't have to do that to win, but if they get something, I guess to say the mistake-free Foles. They don't have to get the prolific number Foles. They just need the mistake-free Foles. then yeah, I'm with you. It's close in the fourth.
I think they're better just straight up than New England is, even with Foles at quarterback.
I think Atlanta was better than New England last year.
Agreed.
This
And
is
it's
part of the
football,
problem,
and it gets kind of weird. It can get kind of weird. But there's just, again, I see fewer holes in what they are top to bottom as a team than I do with what New England is. It's just New England has won in circumstances a lot of different ways down the stretch of the season. By that, I mean, if you look at the schedule and the opponents they play, they could get fat on some bad offenses. Philadelphia's offense looks pretty good. Peterson could be the toast of the town come Monday morning, talking about what he brings to the table as an offensive mind. It's just, I think New England has a lot to overcome, and Belichick is so good at it. Brady is so good at it. Maybe Gronk is a big factor in this game and fully healthy, but if you just look at the two deep, man, Philadelphia is a more talented team than New England is.
Well, Foles, I mentioned the numbers that he posted, and they are awe-inspiring, and that passer rating to go with of 141.4. Take that for whatever you will, but he's been nothing short of sensational there. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to record a 100-plus passer rating in each of his first three career postseason starts. The dude has gone 49 of 63, 598 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
If Wentz were the quarterback in this game, would Philly be the prohibitive favorite over New England? I think the answer is they would be the favorite. Maybe not. The mystique wouldn't allow them
Might
to be
a pick 'em.
I think Philly would be the favorite, and my point would be that Foles is playing at the level that people expected, or they thought Wentz was playing.
He's playing above
in
and beyond that.
week
Nobody's
out.
playing as well as he is right
Sure.
now. It's crazy. That would be interesting to see what that line would be. I think the line is going to settle in around 3.5 when it's all said and done in favor of New England. And remember, a lot of people will always default New England, right? I mean, just because they've won so consistently, and oftentimes have won when they weren't, frankly, the better team based on what we had seen with the body of work for a season. They still find ways in preparation and the build-up to it, the extra week off, and, of course, the all-time great quarterback married with the all-time great coach. Anything that's in the margins, you kind of fall back towards New England.
Well, and that's the hard part is the extra gap. You give your opponent more time to prepare. This is why we don't like necessarily picking against Saban or Urban Meyer after a long layoff.
Right, they can
before a bowl
be beat,
game.
but just traditionally speaking, you don't like to go against them.
Hell, even Dabo. I mean, look what they did in the playoff the previous 2 seasons against a good Ohio State team and a good Oklahoma team in the playoff. You give a good coaching staff a long time to prepare. I mean, there's no doubt that New England is more proven than Philadelphia, but I look at these two teams and I watch the quality of their play top to bottom offensively and defensively. The trenches favor Philadelphia. They just do.
Foles is fun, too, in this sense. While we talk about these two teams and we focus on the quarterback a day after, media day and all that good stuff, is for me, who's now seen a lot of Super Bowls, he elicits these interesting responses from people who will hearken back to other teams that had to rely upon a backup quarterback to succeed and ultimately win a Super Bowl championship. And in fact, he takes over for Carson Wentz and he becomes only the 4th quarterback in the Super Bowl era, to win 2 postseason games after making 3 or fewer starts in a regular season. And that got me to thinking immediately to Doug Williams with Washington and how happy I was for Doug Williams, the former Buccaneer great who was mistreated by Hugh Culverhouse and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so that was back in 87. I was in high school, Tom. You were 1 year old at the time, I understand. And I remember thinking about the Haas. The Haas, Jeff Hostetler with that ridiculous porn stash out there running around with the Giants in 1990 doing silly things. Wasn't any good, but somehow made plays, and they won games. And Frank Reich, who I remember obviously with the Buffalo Bills in 1992 and the engineer of an incredible comeback, one of the all-time great comebacks against the Houston Oilers. And he is, interestingly enough, on that Philadelphia staff as an offensive coordinator. I did not know that Frank Reich was that. But that also ties in nicely to one of my favorite things about Super Bowl week these days, which is on the NFL Network. And that is a replaying of every single Super Bowl ever played. And that's cool for those of us who may not have a team in the fight this weekend, but appreciate the history of the NFL and can remember in our youth the first time we tuned into a Super Bowl and got excited by one. And every year around this time, we talk about those games and the first ones that we can actually remember. Obviously, the first five, I think, are played before I'm ever born. But the first Super Bowl that I can remember is Pittsburgh and Dallas. I think I'm 5 or 6 years old. And then also in 78, Dallas and the Denver Broncos. For whatever reason, in 1977, I skip a Super Bowl. I don't have any recollection of the Oakland Raiders-Minnesota Vikings game where the Oakland Raiders boat raced the Vikings. I have no recollection of that.
Well, you're a Cowboys fan, and the Cowboys were in the other two.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And then the Bucs come along, and we get a franchise, and I'm a Bucs fan, and obviously we're not going to find the Bucs till 2002. But I remember every Super Bowl after that. I can remember Steelers-Cowboys, which was incredible. I remember Steelers-Rams because the Bucs actually should have maybe been in that Super Bowl, if not for a couple of questionable calls. But then, Raiders-Eagles, I can remember that. We brought it up earlier last week when it all went down because Dick Vermeil was the Eagles coach, and it's long before we knew the reputation as a crier. And later on a great announcer, and then a return to the game. I can remember all those Super Bowls, but there are players you forget about. And when the NFL goes back and replays these, they often do it in the style now of the classic NFL film style, where they talk to the players about the game and they talk to the coaches that were involved in the games and the anecdotes of the biggest plays in those games and the play calls and what the logic was behind it. You learn. NFL Films and NFL Network do an amazing job of using kind of cinematic tricks to make you invest hours of your time into a movie-like experience involving the history of the NFL, and I buy it hook, line, and sinker every time.
Much like how in this generation, MLB and its efforts to bring you internet-based live sports has changed the course of broadcasting in a large way because of how professional they are at doing it. I mean, hell, ESPN bought some of the technology. They bought some of the proprietary
stuff. That's why every Major League Baseball team is getting a check stroked to them to the extent of what, $50 million?
$50 million apiece.
$50 million apiece, yeah.
I mean, it's incredible what they brought to the table in the 21st century. There's no doubt about that. Well, NFL Films is something that has a similar impact for the NFL itself and the way that we remember Super Bowls or championship series in whatever sport it is. You want the super slow motion replay. You want the music, and you want this feeling.
That dun dun dun.
It's all larger than life. I don't know that there's anything more responsible for love and passion for football and the explosion for it than the NFL Films project and how big it turned into.
Yeah, and how well documented that is, and how it got started, and father-son thing, and the whole situation.
It's better than the games.
Yeah, what is highlights? Oddly enough, that is something I dearly miss. Highlights exist now, but you can get them anywhere, and they're not highlight shows per se. And back in the day, I can even remember Howard Cosell, certainly on Monday Night Football, recapping it was 2 minutes, and it would recap the weekend that was. And I would so anxiously await that because you didn't have access to games. You got whatever game was on, and you didn't see anything else. So you had no idea how it was the Oakland Raiders defeated the Kansas City Chiefs, who scored, when they score, how did it happen. And, that slowed down. The slow-motion version with his narration over top was incredible. And then later on, when HBO came around and Inside the NFL was born, and you sat back and watched those narrations, those 30-minute shows where you're watching every game and you got a good synopsis. It was a draw.
There's something that was really good for the NHL they stopped doing a few years ago, which was 24/7. You see it a lot with boxing, big prize fights, and there's a 24/7 feature on either HBO or Showtime.
Jim Lampley hosting, yeah.
Right, and you get the background of everything, inside information. If you watch it late enough, it's like Hard Knocks, with the foul language. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that would never have existed without the NFL Films model taking off and being as successful as it is. Because, I can remember as a kid watching on ESPN2, and that's what they would put on in the afternoon. It was either World's Strongest Man or they'd do NFL Great Games replays, and you'd see film of coaches on the sidelines, swearing up and down and all the different beep sounds that they had for them. When they're losing their minds. Right. Like Bill Parcells, they have a mashup and a montage of every foul word he's ever said, or Gruden at that time when he was the young up-and-coming coach. That's awesome. That stuff, I was glued to it as a kid, and they still do a great job with it. They've carried it into the next generation with Turning Point, which is a great weekly show. But then I think what most people know is A Football Life now. That's what a lot of the older people in the demo watch, is the football life of some of the greats. It's just so well put together, and that's really, to me, what cemented the NFL's interest on a week-to-week basis when we got to the season.
I miss and I hate that you were not born old enough really to involve yourself in it. But this week in baseball, every week I waited for that to come on. And I think you can now find them. I read somewhere on iTunes, you can find every one of them, Mel Allen. Watching that show would cause me to go out to my father's backyard. I'd have a slip and slide, and I'd pretend to be sliding into second, third, or home and pretending to score or put myself in a position to score the winning run or whatever it might be. And I would even do that in slow motion and slide and turn and the same mannerisms that I saw every week. And that is responsible, I think solely responsible, along with the emergence when I was young of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Willie Stargell, Dave Parker era, winning the World Series, for me loving baseball and being forever glued to it. This week in baseball was that equivalent, and you should go back and watch that. But anyhow, all of that to say this, the Super Bowl week when you don't have a great team, you don't have a team that you care about, you don't have a team that you absolutely love, then this is it, right? This is the time that you go back and watch the history of the NFL and all of the nightly specials on NFL Network, because it's awesome. It's really cool. It's a reminder why you fell in love with the game. And along the way, you're reminded of certain players that may not have been stars, but were just the anchors, the glue guys of significant teams that you maybe didn't have appreciation for then, but certainly do now. You go back, that's right. Back when we played with fullbacks, he was really good. He was my favorite fullback. Like watching Rathman with the 49ers, I hated the 49ers. Man, I had appreciation for Rathman. Really all of those guys because they were all so talented. But watching that dude lead the way for Roger Craig, that son of a bitch is coming out at you, and you got to take on that lead block. I mean, that was the whole thing about taking on a lead block with fullbacks coming at you, 250 pounds with the oversized pads.
Well, and then there's the NFL films with the symbols.
Oh, yeah, over and over again.
Oh, they got it down.
Smartly done. Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Here's a love story between a restaurant and its city, and the people of its city. For 45 years, Andrews has been serving up great food, great fun, and great memories in the heart of Tallahassee. Today, Andrews is better than ever, with an all-new look, Tallahassee's original Sunday brunch, a new outdoor pergola, and an incredible happy hour. All to bring the best of the best to you. Come make memories at Andrews, better than ever.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Severe nausea. So bad you think you might just vomit. If these statements describe you, and you've been diagnosed with gastroparesis, you might qualify for a clinical study that tests a new medication for nausea and the symptoms of gastroparesis. Qualified participants will receive study-related care and medication at no charge. Call 844-902-1212. That's 844-902-1212. This ad sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9, happy hour drink specials, and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are coming in January to West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Here's a love story between a restaurant and its city, and the people of its city. For 45 years, Andrews has been serving up great food, great fun, and great memories in the heart of Tallahassee. Today, Andrews is better than ever, with an all-new look, Tallahassee's original Sunday brunch, a new outdoor pergola, and an incredible happy hour. All to bring the best of the best to you. Come make memories at Andrews, better than ever.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a 5 1/4 ounce bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with a bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Look at this. I didn't know we were doing this. Let's do it up, kids. Live Nation has announced Kevin Hart. He'll be on the Irresponsible Tour. He will appear at the Tucker Center, the TLCCC as we like to call it, Tucker Civic Center, on October the 12th. That's right, basically a year from now. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. That's right, Wednesday. Yay! That's tomorrow at noon at tuckerciviccenter.com. But, you were waiting on it. You can win a pair right now. Be caller 3 to 523-ESPN. That's 523-3776 for your opportunity to win a pair of tickets to see Kevin Hart's show in October. Kevin Hart, the comedian, he's coming to town. He's coming in October. We're giving away tickets to that right now. If you're caller 3, light it up. 523-3776 for a pair of tickets to Kevin Hart's show in October.
There it is.
That was an expertly delivered promotion.
Sure was. Right off the cuff, too.
A giveaway of that magnitude. You got to get it right. The pressure was on the people at Live Nation listening closely. Who is this Jeff Cameron fellow? Is he about to botch our Live Nation promo? I don't know, Johnny. Tune in quick.
I may have to withdraw the tickets.
Oh, I'm just having fun with
Take
it.
our buy, not the tickets.
Oh, man. That was fun. Sorry.
That's a good get, though, man. He'll pack it out.
Oh, yeah, for the Civic Center for Tallahassee.
He was here a couple of years ago.
Wasn't he? I thought he was just recently here, wasn't he? Yeah. I was wondering about that. That's okay. I was looking at this story, and I don't know that I have the time. I kind of want to get into this, but I, at the same time, want to make sure that I have enough time for it. Okay. You're telling me I got the time. All right, short segment. Let's do this. A non-sports story. I got a couple of them today. It's that week, man. It's Super Bowl week. You got to roll with me, kids.
Should I brace myself here?
No, it's an interesting story.
Okay.
Toronto police who allegedly ate pot on duty ended up having to call for help.
It can get high for you.
Yeah. CBC News. Those are Canadians.
It can get high for you.
Yeah. They've learned that Vittorio Dominelli, and his partner have been suspended. 2 Toronto police officers were allegedly ingesting marijuana edibles. They began to hallucinate hardcore. They had to call for help while they were on duty. It's a hell of a call to make on duty. Both officers are under investigation by the force's professional standards unit. That's frowned upon. That's going to be beneath the professional standard here as police officers. That happened on a Sunday. Getting after it on a Sunday, these two guys were. CBC News has learned the officers who work at 13 Division were on duty not far from the station at Eglinton Avenue West and Allen Road. Of course, our favorite corner there. When they allegedly ingested the pot edibles, CBC News said the officers began to complain that they were hallucinating too much, and one made a call for an officer who needed assistance. Now, most of the time when that happens, you're in danger. There might be somebody who's trying to harm you. But both officers were then found in their police vehicle.
It can get high for you.
Yeah. Staring out the window, both officers were found in their vehicle hallucinating. Imagine the moment that, hey, we better call somebody. Man, we're on duty, dude.
You're right. We could call somebody right now with our walkie-talkies.
Oh, man. During the call, another officer responding to the scene, well, this is ridiculous. This is a bad movie. During the call from the 2 officers that were in their police vehicle, hopped up on goofballs, waiting for other officers to aid them, one of the responders slipped on ice and needed immediate medical attention. Now imagine the 2 other officers in the vehicle who had just called for help, man, and the guy that arrives slips on a patch of black ice and goes down hardcore and needs help. And what are these 2 gentlemen doing? Not helping. The officer who did seek to aid the 2 that ingested the weed called for help also while laying next to the vehicle with the 2 officers.
The dragon got him, man. The dragon knocked him down. Look at that.
Yes, that is good. Over the weekend, Toronto police carried out a raid at Community Cannabis Clinic, a marijuana dispensary at St. Clair Avenue. I bet they did. Sources tell CBC News the marijuana edibles the officers ingested came from the dispensary.
Oh, they were just Tim Hortons pastries, eh?
It is unclear whether those officers had participated in that exact raid. But nonetheless, criminal charges are probably forthcoming.
I'm going to guess they did.
Yeah. They were excited about the call. They were very what? Vittorino Dominelli was very excited as he called his friend on a separate line. They want us to participate in the raid at the dispensary over there off of West Allen.
Patrol 471, you're on the other side of town. What do you need to be?
We're almost there. We're pulling in now.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
$50 gift cards to these American heroes. These gift cards are good at over 25,000 restaurants nationwide and over 40,000 online choices. So please come to Kraft Nissan now through the end of the month for our first ever Hero Appreciation Week. And because this is a very heartfelt week for us, Kraft Nissan will offer the best deals on all of our new and used cars and trucks to all of our customers during this event. But just for joining us, Kraft Nissan will give a free $50 gift card to a local military or first responder with no purchase necessary. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. See dealer for details. Some conditions apply.
Ah, the perfect lunch spot. A nearly impossible find. Thankfully for Tallahassee, we have Metro Deli. A downtown gem for over 15 years, Metro Deli is locally owned and features the best deli meats, cheeses, breads, and ingredients in the city. Enjoy daily specials and soups, salads and wraps. There's something for everyone. Metro Deli offers online ordering for pickup or delivery and will cater your office breakfast or lunch too. Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot is Metro Deli. MetroDeliTally.com. That's MetroDeliTally.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
In a world of salt and ketchup, Taco Bell shakes up the game, only to expose a web of fries.
Fries seasoned in Mexican spices, dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce. They don't want these coming out.
Who's they?
The burger people. They!
Starring Nacho Fries in a performance that has critics craving. It'll change the way you look at fries, exclaims The Hollywood Reporter. $1 Nacho Fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
At participating locations for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a 5 1/4 ounce bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with a bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's easy
easy to get game day ready at your local CVS pharmacy, where you'll find everything you need to score and save big. This week only, 12 packs of Coke are 5 for $15. Select M&M's, Hershey's Kisses, and Starburst are buy one, get one 50% off. And 12-inch DiGiorno pizzas are just 2 for $10. Restrictions apply. See circular or cvs.com/weekly ad for details. Feel good? Save money at your neighborhood CVS pharmacy.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. John Wall scheduled to undergo an arthroscopic procedure on his left knee, and the Wizards are expected to be without the all-star point guard for up to 2 months. He's been experiencing inflammation and soreness since November in his latest knee issue. The newest Pistons, Blake Griffin, Willie Reed, and Bryce Johnson won't play tonight against the Cavaliers. They need to undergo physicals and won't play until Thursday against the Grizzlies at the earliest. One day after the Indians announced they'd no longer use Chief Wahoo as a symbol after this season, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he didn't see anything changing with the Washington Redskins nickname.
Native Americans do not take that in a negative fashion, the Redskins logo or the Redskins name. The Redskins, they've done a tremendous amount of work here, and I think Dan continues to believe in the name, and I don't see him changing that perspective.
Roger Goodell on Golic and Wingo. He was citing a Washington Post poll from May of 2016 that said 90% of the 504 Native Americans it polled did not find the team's name or logo offensive.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Next hour, I will remind you about viewing habits and what you can and cannot see regarding the basketball game tomorrow, because Tom Wang did some investigative journalism and got answers.
I just asked some people.
You just called around, man.
Yeah.
Did your thing.
Did my thing.
I'm glad you did. I didn't want to make those calls. You made those calls.
Well, it's already been on non-normal television or television channels
Whatever
we're not
it is,
used
right,
to
yeah.
a few times this year. And
damn it, man.
That's enough, you know?
I've had it. We've reached that point.
Well, we're on the road.
The frustration is there.
We go on the road. We're playing a big ACC game.
And we can't go. We can't attend that game. I mean, it's not keeping us from going to the arena. It is keeping us from going to the arena. You don't need to black that game out.
Right. At least electronically speaking. It's available, but it'll be all stretched out in standard Defi. If you even have that channel, most people out there don't. Or maybe they do. I don't know.
To say, but I'll get into it next hour. I wanted to talk about it then in a little bit more in depth, but it is aggravating.
Forgive me.
It's your fault. I brought it up. Oh, it makes me angry, man. Hey, so did you, by the way, as an aside, because I just wanted you to go back and watch it, and I don't know if you did. Did you go back and watch the JB Holmes stuff? Did you see it play out?
No, I didn't watch the video of it.
Man, you should have gone back and watched it.
But I'll tell you what.
Watch the famed layup.
Tell you what, I was listening to a lot of PGA Tour radio the last 24 hours.
Well, it's such a fine station.
And it's all they can talk about. That's all they can talk about.
Because
people are pissed.
Yeah. But hey, listen, man, people are pissed because a lot of people have strong opinions about that in and outside of the ropes, right? I mean, the fact that, listen, here's what I'll say.
You'd think it was the concussion issue in the NFL the way people are talking about it.
Listen, every sport has their own set of hot-button topics that only the passionate fans of that sport can understand why it's a big deal, like why anybody's yelling about it. And I think that's fun, by the way, to go. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from Trey. I've learned a lot just from being on that station and paying closer attention to things that they kind of tell me that the players care about. But you wouldn't even have to know that. You wouldn't even have to have the inside scoop on that, because if you are on social media and you care even a little bit about golf, then you saw other golfers ripping him. I mean, Daniel Berger ripped him, and many others. You can find a slew of them that were saying if they didn't directly rip him, they ripped the situation, they ripped the tour officials, they ripped the rule. But many just came straight out and ripped him. And you know, from any profession, within any sport, most of the time coaches and players would like to refrain, if possible, from ripping other members of their sport or their profession, just because they want to be afforded the same common courtesy if the shoe's on the other foot and there's a set of circumstances that are deemed controversial.
Oh, I agree. It makes me furious too, but we're into Tuesday and people are still mad about it. I'm like, whoa.
They can only, they got to, once the next event starts, and it's a good one.
Yeah.
Waste management's a good one.
Now, he did poke the bear, so to speak, did JB, by saying he's not a slow player. And that's just not true.
Well, he says that he has remedied that problem of the past, that he used to be, admittedly, a slow player. I don't think he used those terms.
Well, yeah.
But that he fixed that situation, and it's been more than 2 years now. And then, of course, that situation.
But even in the past 2 years, there's
been
ample evidence. Anytime he's in contention for anything, he slows the hell down.
Well, I mean, look, man, I have learned enough to know this, that I take a step back a lot of times in those situations just to ask the people that are on that network. I mean, I do that show with Track and ask him, I can ask. But when you have players coming out saying, yeah, man, you can't do that.
Jordan Spieth's ruling didn't take that long at the British Open last year.
Oh, well, I was off of him for life after that.
But one of the guys on that channel today, as I was driving in, said, well, name me somebody under 30 who plays slow, because the AJGA has gotten this out of the game.
Right.
Jordan Spieth ain't exactly,
well,
racing around the track.
I don't have the times in front of me. I don't know what the average pace of, I don't know any of that right now. So I feel like I would be talking out of school. Well, if he wants clarification on a rule, he's not afraid to hold the whole thing hostage.
Or talk with his caddy for 20 minutes because he knows now the microphones are up because it's my turn.
Well, now we're talking about personality problems that we have issues with, that we're both inclined to note in a given tournament.
Yes, indeed.
There's some theatrics to him that, make me bristle at times. That's true of a lot of the guys. It's true with a lot of the guys.
How did that not stay on the green?
Yeah.
How did that not stay on the green?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I laugh at that too. I know.
Oh, shoot. Dadgummit.
And this is why I never... Okay, so it's a fine line. But remember, I grew up loving, in tennis, for example, John McEnroe. So if you love John McEnroe, you're certainly fine with Tiger Woods. Guys who break down the wall and don't care that mics are there and cameras are on them, and they say what many of us have thought on a golf course or tennis court, and even said on occasion, and certainly we're not so easily offended. Our sensibilities aren't so brittle. And the other problem is that, of course, those guys also have the camera on them for every shot, and part of the problem lies with the networks that allow for that, and they know damn well what they're doing.
Absolutely they do. But you know what? Jordan Spieth has made me really appreciate Tiger Woods all the more.
Well,
I like Tiger more because of Jordan Spieth.
Well, and also because he doesn't sound like a Muppet. I mean, he's saying it's not a children's show. Yeah, well, he's saying things that you and I would say if we got screwed.
Right.
I mean,
well, that's him.
Yeah.
Like, I believe Jordan is more like Tiger when they're playing a practice round on Tuesday,
right.
And there's 50 grand on the line because you're wagering with Ricky.
Well, the best thing to do is, and again, as an aside, the best thing ever to do is just to go one of these events and walk with the players, man. I mean, it cracks me up. You'll hear things. Now, a lot of those guys they're really good. They don't say anything other than, bad shot, or they'll get on themselves. But you get a few that aren't afraid to throw it down.
Well, it's the LeBron fatigue factor. It's the same thing with Spieth. He knows the camera's on him, so you're talking about flopping or always checking at the headband. He's always checking to make sure everything's A-okay. Presentation. You can tell presentation is on his mind even as they're playing the game. And that's what annoys me. Tiger would present to intimidate. He wouldn't present to make sure.
Right, and that annoyed people too.
Sure.
Yeah. Like standing.
Well, it's like Tebow would always drop to a knee right in front of the camera. The camera wouldn't come to him. He'd find a way to make sure the camera was around more often than not.
Sure. Yeah. Well, okay, back to the issue at hand here. It was dumb of him to say that he doesn't play slow.
The American is not the issue here, man.
I mean, when he said that, I thought, well, sir, we certainly took an awful long time to lay up. And again, I think that's the thing that everybody had a problem with, is if you're going to go for it, make a run at it, no matter how low the percentages are, you might forgive him. You might go, well, man, he's got to hit an eagle. He's got to eagle this hole. Okay, he better be sure of the club,
Yeah.
to make it a go. But when you lay up, What are we doing?
Right, exactly.
Now you're protecting Ryder Cup points?
Well, yeah.
Is that what we're doing here?
What's that akin to? You're just really grinding over a pitch and you're going to intentionally walk somebody?
He's won 4 times on tour, so and he's been in 2 Ryder Cups, and so people would say it can't be the money. He couldn't have been doing that to make more money because he's got a lot of money, right? No, I think actually that's probably the money. Probably a mixture of the money and the Ryder Cup points is exactly why he did it.
And the win, whatever that does for exemptions, if that's what you're talking about.
No, he wasn't playing for the win. If he was playing for the win, he would have made a go of it. I'm saying JB clearly, he laid up. The only way he could win it was to get on there and eagle. So he
needed eagle? It wouldn't have been a...
No,
okay.
He was out of it. He had to eagle the hole. The others were the ones in actual contention. One was tied and the other needed a birdie, and homeboy over here needed much more, and likely it wasn't going to happen.
Maybe he liked his chances of holding out from 115. Maybe that's his game,
That was the oddity of the whole thing. You're like, what in the world, my man? I do wish that players were a little bit more assertive just in general. Who was it? I know it breaks all the rules of golf and the exit. Who was it, Tom, that made me laugh? Every time I watch it, I laugh. That just hit into that group. He got so pissed off, walked up. Remember that? He just walked up. I think he hit into the group, walked up, finished out the hole, and moved on. Like disgusted, just moved on.
That was last year, wasn't it?
2 years
we had an incident.
ago.
We had one last year where somebody hit into the group. They had enough with it.
I mean, that is an effort moment when my man decides, I know I cannot do that. I am hitting into them. I don't care. This is ridiculous.
You ever been a part of that on an actual golf course?
Yeah.
It does get tense. If that's a good drive and it's going right at him, then you realize, ooh, okay, I didn't expect to get into a fight here in a golf course,
usually,
but now...
Yeah, no. Normally, it's one of the things...
Force them stick together now.
It's
go time.
Yeah. Well, and usually before the go time happens, somebody within the group of the guy who made the mistake of hitting into the people, despite whatever frustrations you may have had, it's the wrong thing to do because it's dangerous. But the guy who does the hitting usually is chastised immediately by the other 3 before they stick up for him.
Right.
Which is there's this under the breath, like, Frank, that's going to hit him.
Yeah.
I told you could get that.
Right.
Oh, look at him. Here we go.
But there is the time. It's like anything else. Unwritten rules. We're like, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead.
You know what? Hit into him.
Because
this is ridiculous.
My final warning is bashing. This is such a first world problem, but it's bashing the head of the driver on the tee, on the actual tee marker.
Hear that ting, 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 ting.
Like, hello. We're back here. Keep circling your card, please. You'll find it.
This is so snobby and ridiculous. It's beautiful. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
On the spot, 4 amp hour lithium battery. No mail-ins, no gimmicks, on the spot. Also, check out DeWalt's Impact Hammer Drill Kit and get a free tool promotion exclusively at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener is also your home for OSHA compliant dust solutions for all your concrete needs. 2 locations to choose from, 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon.
97.9 ESPN Radio is giving you the chance to win a pair of Kevin Hart tickets all this week. Listen to The Jeff Cameron Show from 3 to 6 p.m. as we'll give away 2 tickets per day to Kevin Hart's Irresponsible Tour Show, October the 12th at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. We'll give you the cue to call. Will you be our winner? Live Nation presents the Kevin Hart Irresponsible Tour, October 12th at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Listen for your chance to win a pair of tickets, only from Tallahassee's Sports Monster 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a 5 1/4 ounce bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with a bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Severe nausea. So bad you think you might just vomit. If these statements describe you, and you've been diagnosed with gastroparesis, you might qualify for a clinical study that tests a new medication for nausea and the symptoms of gastroparesis. Qualified participants will receive study-related care and medication at no charge. Call 844-902-1212. That's 844-902-1212. This ad sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio. Checking real quick. You going to give me an over-under on that final recruiting ranking? It is getting down to the nitty-gritty, and the names keep coming in. The hints that some more big names are on the way is the way the day began.
I think 12.5 is a good over-under for the final recruiting
that is
rankings.
Amazing. There's no way, right? I think we said at the time that Florida State had fallen into the 50s and or beyond, that making that top 25 was everything. Get me to there. We're good to go. And you're talking about top 12.
I don't know. It looks like there's been too much progress inside the top 10 to fully catch someone up that high.
Yeah, because a lot of people had cemented their classes.
Yeah.
And, Ohio State. Like, look, if you look at the very top, whether it's Georgia or Ohio State, you've already got programs with already have 24 commitments. And 22, 24, 23 for Texas, for example. Even Miami, who's got a top 5 class, if you're looking at the composite rankings, they've already got 22 commitments. So you were going to be hard-pressed to get there.
Yeah, we're looking at adding, down the last 7-8 days here, 3, 4, 4 stars maximum, and then another 3-star or 2. So, Yeah,
you could add 6, 7 more guys. You're at 14. You get it up to 20, you would be to where Washington and LSU, and you'd pass in terms of totals. You'd be passing Southern Cal and maybe Michigan.
There's one kid that they offered recently. He's on the Panhandle right now. That's where he goes to school, and he's unranked. But it's a late bloomer. They like his tape. He's a shorter kid, receiver, 5'9", but a lot of talent with the ball in his hand. So, I don't know how, if they get a couple of depth signings, it's going to affect their ranking, because the quality rating right now, if you just look at the average rating for every recruit, we're top 5, top 6 in terms of that metric. But if you're looking at the total score for recruiting rankings, and every site does them different, but even the industry average, I don't know, somewhere in the low teens. That's pretty damn fine, though. That's some serious work.
I will, I will take that all day long. And the only other thing that I need to have happen, and I don't know when the cutoff date is, let me know on this. Does anybody out there know? I should know, but I haven't been lazy and I haven't bothered to call. What's the cutoff date to when we're playing Boise State and Boise, and it's confirmed, locked in, not going to change, no chance we move the game to some other locale, some other neutral site? I've been anticipating that game forever and a day. If we get this class into the top 15 and I get confirmation that the Blue Field's going to happen and we're going to be there all within, say, the span of, a year, woo! Just add to the buzz, the goodness, man, because I'm already in a good mood regarding the program.
That's a good question when the cutoff date is, but it's amazing how much time has flown by, because remember when we broke it, that day?
Oh, yeah. Eons ago.
This was going to,
And all I've been told ever since, never going to happen, Cameron. Don't get your hopes up. It just hit me right now. The reason it did is I was looking through the recruiting rankings, and I was looking at players, and you go, and every now and then you'll get you'll see on that larger list of like 100 and something teams, all of a sudden you go, oh, there's Boise. Look at Boise. Oh, yeah. The game on the Blue Field.
The old Cameron stream of consciousness.
I've been waiting for that forever. Well, the stream of consciousness usually occurs, got to be careful there, when they're shortened segments and you don't have time to delve into all the bigger stories of the day, like we can to start the next hour. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Order $1 nacho fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you. At participating locations for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
O'Reilly.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a 5 1/4 ounce bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with a bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's Golick and Wingo.
The worst is when the server comes by and says, "Can I take that plate?" and everybody lets it go.
Right.
Because nobody still wants to grab the last one.
No, that's...
When you're like, well, wait a minute. And a lot of times that plate will be in the air and I'll be like, no. This has gone too far. Give me that piece of whatever it is.
That cookie, piece of cake pie is there for a reason.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
That's its mission in life.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. John Wall scheduled to undergo an arthroscopic procedure on his left knee, and the Wizards are expected to be without the all-star point guard for up to 2 months. He's been experiencing inflammation and soreness since November in his latest knee issue. The newest Pistons, Blake Griffin, Willie Reed, and Bryce Johnson won't play tonight against the Cavaliers. They need to undergo physicals and won't play until Thursday against the Grizzlies at the earliest. One day after the Indians announced they'd no longer use Chief Wahoo as a symbol after this season, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he didn't see anything changing with the Washington Redskins nickname.
Native Americans do not take that in a negative fashion, the Redskins logo or the Redskins name. The Redskins, they've done a tremendous amount of work here, and I think Dan continues to believe in the name, and I don't see him changing that perspective.
Roger Goodell on Golick and Wingo. He was citing a Washington Post poll from May of 2016 that said 90% of the 504 Native Americans it polled did not find the team's name or logo offensive.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it, and a fine lawn maintenance Tuesday to you and yours. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. We're also back on the YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. We got our director back. Woohoo! Way to go, Matthew. Thanks for watching us on YouTube, everybody. You can email the show if you like, JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app. Good for your mobile devices. Also, you can watch us on Twitter there. Periscope. Just go to the 97.9 ESPN Tallahassee feed there on Twitter, and you're all good to go to watch on Periscope. Yeah,
there it is.
So it's a fun thing to do. You know, by the way, as an aside, it has nothing to do with nothing, at least that people locally care about. But I've always thought this would be difficult, and I get that he's making more money than you can ever know what to do with, I suppose. But that had to have been an alarming moment when Blake Griffin got the phone call that he had been traded from the L.A. Clippers to the Detroit Pistons, given that it is January 30th. That had to, that's a toughie.
Blake, it's Stan Van Gundy. Give me a call back at your earliest convenience.
Now, he just signed a 5-year, $171 million deal with L.A. this past offseason. So my guess is the thought was, I'm not going anywhere, and then he's going somewhere, and that somewhere is freaking Detroit. I mean, come on, man. You didn't get traded from L.A. to Miami or Dallas or San Antonio or, I don't know, Charlotte or New Orleans or Orlando or
any of them.
Yeah, we can keep going here. But Detroit, that is a toughie. And I get that money is money, and if you're filthy rich, you live in a posh environment no matter where it is. But you still got to go outside. You still want to do things. You still got to go places that don't involve, like, to the arena to practice and play games, but, you know, with your family. And now you're going to be doing them in Detroit. Not Santa Monica. You're not rolling down there to Venice Beach. No. Detroit. Hope that $171 million allows for you to have a great time because you are still in Detroit.
Yeah, I wonder what the tax breakout is for the state of Michigan and Detroit itself versus California, Los Angeles. I'm sure it's a better situation in that regard, but I don't know what endorsements he may have to give up now that he's not, in Los Angeles.
Well, listen, the money is almost insignificant at this point. Again, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars.
This is true.
He's not whether he's able to still cash in on that $1 million endorsement or not.
I'm just trying to present something that he may tell himself in the mirror and say, well, it's okay. I get 3% more because now I'm living in Michigan.
I got to go to Detroit. You can't even almost expect your family to make that move. You almost have to tell you're in a mansion in L.A., so you're in the good part of L.A., and you're not exactly dealing with all of the traffic on the 405 like everybody else because you can avoid that sort of thing. You probably have, I don't know if the players have some sort of escort, but they're certainly in a limo every day.
Yeah, maybe in Vegas.
But they've got a good life, and, going outside, hanging out on the weekend, good. Beats the hell out of Detroit, Tom. That's all I'm saying. I was reading the story in the terms of the deal, and I understand we can't get all into the NBA right now here, but we're
on a 6-game road trip. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Those folks in Detroit can't wait to hit the road, right? Most people just want to get home. They're like, no, when is that 15-game roadie? We don't have that built in? Who wants to? Me. I want to go on the I'll play better than I ever have. Anyhow. Damn. The trading of players in baseball, basketball, football, no matter what it is, it doesn't happen as much as in football. But I have always wondered, that is the one downside of the industry. You can make millions of dollars, and that helps mitigate the set of circumstances. But, man, we've seen guys go from whether it's, a great market in the NFL to a piss-poor franchise in a sorry market, you name it. But
that's, the talking points. Joe Thomas is making the rounds, obviously, and he was hurt towards the end of this season, and that broke his string of consecutive games played, especially at left tackle. It's a really impressive streak, but he's the player that people and time forgets.
He's in Cleveland,
because he's been in Cleveland his whole career.
Cleveland.
And he's a Hall of Famer. Guy's going to talk about the Hall of Fame last week.
Cleveland.
But he's been stuck in Cleveland and losing for his whole career.
As is anybody stuck in Cleveland, that's for sure. Losing. Every day, on and off the field.
And he was drafted there. He decided, all right, I'm an outdoors guy. I'll just go fish in the offseason and forget about Cleveland for a while.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do, man. That would be omnipresent on the mind. By the way, Media Day yesterday. Isn't it interesting we've gotten to a place now where our attention is so divided by so many options that we don't have to worry about the silliness that is the packaged Media Day. You rarely glean anything all that special from it. There are a couple of moments when you learn guys' stories, people who've overcome what appeared to be insurmountable odds or medical conditions. And those stories cropped up yesterday, too. So that was nice. And you got to see some of the players reveal a little about themselves. Even Bill Belichick smiled yesterday when Brady noted that if you wanted to get him to smile, a reporter asked Tom Brady, how do you get Bill Belichick to smile? He said, if you bring up Navy lacrosse, which is good, Navy lacrosse, and then what did he say? He named a coach.
Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor, Navy lacrosse, and one other thing. And that would cause him to
John
smile.
Bon Jovi.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're boys.
What is
Bon Jovi and Belichick are boys.
Really weird marriage there. What is it with coaches and John Bon Jovi? John Gruden loves him in a way that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, but he's not friends with him like Bill is, I don't think.
Oh, like they're like hanging out, boys?
Yeah. Like Bon Jovi would come to practice. This is part of that the long-form article from a couple of weeks ago, the expose. And Bon Jovi would come to practice and run drills with the first team, like on an off day.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So no matter how famous you got, let's say this show became the biggest show in America and we were both had some measure of actual fame. What comes with that sometimes are these kinds of invites to things that you would normally or ordinarily
That's true, yes.
never have an opportunity to get involved with. And some of them are really cool, even on these really small levels like we enjoy now.
Well, a Pro-Am would be pretty cool to play Pebble.
Right.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things you would do. But then there are things you get invited to where they are utilizing your celebrity while making you look like a buffoon. John Bon Jovi doing drills with the New England Patriot players is one of those things. Yeah. Don't do that, John. Don't do that.
Tom, you'll be paired with Adam Scott today. All right. We're going to have a hell of a gallery following us. This is going to be great. You guys are opposite Chris DeMarco and Chris Berman.
Oh, this is a toughie. Well, I think the coolest thing I ever got to do as a direct result, somewhat a direct result of this, is play goalie for the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks. I got low standards, but this is cool. In the intermission, while they took shots on me. That was fun to experience. I would have never gotten to do that. It was a radio promo. It was a lot of fun, and I loved it. I think that's the coolest thing. I got to play Doral with R-Truth from the WWE and hang out with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
The Big Show and The Miz and some other guys we hung out with. And that was fun just because it was different and interesting. But that's about it. You and I got, because of our press membership, we got to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, but we didn't get to go like skate around or anything.
That was cool, though.
It was awesome. But we could do that just because we have
I got to talk to Bob Ryan, you know.
And I've got to tell you guys, this is funny. I bring it up every time he brings this up, but watching Tom talk to Bob Ryan is downright cute. I mean, my man was giddy like a child.
I was.
You were seeing a hero in Bob Ryan. And by all accounts, he was a nice man.
Super nice. Super tall, too. Didn't realize how tall Bob Ryan is. He's good 6'2", 6'3", and he's shrinking at his age, so Lord knows, man, that guy is a big dude. Super nice, and I didn't take too much of his time because I know it. I know how it is. You know, with this big show that we have in the Southeast region, you go up to the Thomasville market, buddy. You go up to Thomasville, you can't get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
But he was gracious with his, 3 minutes that he gave me and started a quick conversation. That was the end of it. He got the hell out. Nice guy, though.
He smiled all the while. He thought this young man's going places, and he was enjoying the conversation.
That's right.
I absolutely loved it. There is no news regarding Florida State for anything today, above and beyond the fact that a lot of kids are saying yes to Florida State. And I did get calls from radio stations in the state saying, what's going on in Tallahassee? The cheesy sort of generic, can you come on and talk recruiting type stuff? And I always think, well,
it's Super Bowl week. We're out of stuff.
There are better options here, my friend. There are other people who do this a lot better than I do. Don't call me on this.
I've got Solomon Wilcots talking about Pennzoil, and then I got Bill Coward coming on, and he's going to be talking about dairy. But can you really fit in that middle there for 5 minutes to talk about Florida State and recruiting? What do you say, sir?
I do want to note this, that when we found out about the Peters kid that committed to Florida State, remember we were talking about him yesterday? I did reach out to a couple people, and they said he is a complete stud, an absolute stud. Florida State got a guy that, had his grades not been in question initially, would have been a guy the upper echelon of the hunt for these teams wanting to play at that position. So that
War daddies.
Yeah. Yeah, how exciting is that, right?
War daddies.
But that's all we got. You got to get to that Super Bowl because we start getting prop bets, we start getting the commercials, we get all that nonsense.
It'll be weird to hear from Willie Taggart in 8 days. I mean, you had him on the show, it felt like a year ago.
Eons ago.
Yeah. And
I haven't heard a word from him since.
Before, the assembled media, felt like a year ago.
It's been odd.
It'd be weird to see him.
It'll be nice to see him. Be nice to talk to him. It's just odd that it's also on that same day that Florida State's taking on Virginia, which I think is tragic. Hopefully both are sold out. It means the community is just in love with all things Florida State and that it's buzzing again, which is a good thing. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled Back County Islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Seaquarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Here's a love story between a restaurant and its city, and the people of its city. For 45 years, Andrews has been serving up great food, great fun, and great memories in the heart of Tallahassee. Today, Andrews is better than ever, with an all-new look. Tallahassee's original Sunday brunch, a new outdoor pergola, and an incredible happy hour. All to bring the best of the best to you. Come make memories at Andrews, better than ever.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Ah, the perfect lunch spot. A nearly impossible find. Thankfully for Tallahassee, we have Metro Deli. A downtown gem for over 15 years, Metro Deli is locally owned and features the best deli meats, cheeses, breads, and ingredients in the city. Enjoy daily specials and soups, salads and wraps. There's something for everyone. Metro Deli offers online ordering for pickup or delivery and will cater your office breakfast or lunch too. Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot is Metro Deli. MetroDeliTally.com. That's MetroDeliTally.com.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9. Happy hour drink specials and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are coming in January to West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I suppose it's a sense of adventure and accomplishment that compels one to even think about doing what this individual did, but I must tell you that it's really cool. I wouldn't do it just for fear that I'd get stuck out there and it's a painful way to die, but I love stories like this, and that's why I bring it to you. New Jersey teenager Oliver Crane became the youngest person ever to row solo across the Atlantic Ocean. So we're going to get in a rowboat and go across the Atlantic, are we? Sweet Jesus. Did that early Sunday when he arrived. Well, he completed it early Sunday when he arrived at the Caribbean island of Antigua. To a crowd of cheering friends and family, the 19-year-old broke the previous record for the youngest solo crossing, set in 2010, was held by a 22-year-old woman named Katie Spots. Crane completed his over 3,000-mile voyage in 44 days. Quote, it was hard starting out from La Gomora off the coast of Africa, taking that first stroke and knowing I had close to at least 1 million more strokes to go and 3,000 miles left. But I got through it, and I'm glad that I did. His 23-foot custom-built boat, named Team Homeward Bound, as a solar-powered water maker, and is designated to right itself if it capsizes, which happened a number of times along the way. There's no toilet on board. He had to use a bucket, if you're wondering. Says he had 2 satellite phones on board to communicate with his team on the shore, who helped him with navigation and weather forecasts. Got texts from the family. He says have always pushed him to his tested him to his limits, but he did said his nutrition took a hit. I ate mainly junk food the whole way. I was supposed to eat freeze-dried foods as my main energy source, but I had a hard time getting it down. They didn't taste really good, so I basically lived off of Pringles. That's awesome. When you're 19 and you're rowing your ass off, you're not going to gain weight.
Well, that's true.
Leaving in December meant spending Christmas and New Year's alone for the first time as well, but Crane says it turned out to be one of his favorite times of all. I was out there rowing. I got visited by a passing sailing yacht. They sang me Christmas carols, circled around, wished me well on my journey. Arriving in Antigua Sunday morning in the dark, Crane was greeted by a pack of friends and family on shore, lit red flares on his boat, holding out his arms in triumph. He said the crowd was a homecoming in and of itself. Yeah, there's a picture of this guy. He's obviously in shape and very excited. Said it was incredible. Did get lonely, but the Pringles and a little bit of music here and there got him through. That's a toughie.
That's interesting, though. So he was communicating with people on shore. I've seen, ventures like this before where it's almost like akin to a cycling race, and you have people close by. It's not like they're removed from the situation. They're at arm's reach in case
you're about
strikes.
To die. Well, swimmers, we've seen people make the swim, whether it's the British Canal. There's a lot of different things. The swim to Cuba I've seen. People try to attempt that from Florida to Cuba, and they, you worry about jellyfish and sharks. And it often happens that you encounter both, and the one woman swam through it. The jellyfish were just wailing on her. She kept going, but then other times the sharks start to circle, and you're like, got to get out of the water. And it's not a continuous swim.
We'll try this again, or not.
Yeah, no, it never would have crossed my mind to do it. I had a friend over the weekend skydive. Sent a picture of himself skydiving, and no, that ain't going to happen for me. The time has come and gone for skydiving. But these adventuresome types, the ones that go across, in this case, the Atlantic Ocean, or climb the highest mountains, or jump out of planes, more power to you. I got nothing against it. It's just not ever going to be me. That's, woo.
Buddy, I did something very adventurous this weekend. I walked across the city of Tampa.
Which, given the statistics on the number of pedestrians struck by vehicle every year in Tampa, you took your life in your own hands, buddy.
It was daylight.
Last year, that Tampa, I think, shattered the record. People get run over in Tampa like it's their job.
Well, I mean, I told you the experience of the guy who was up on the peg.
You almost got run over by the drunkard. Yeah. You're like, buddy, you got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost crashed into the museum at Curtis Hickson. Yeah.
Yeah, man. When I read that stat, it's a little bit like the rain stat in Tallahassee. People don't believe that it's akin. I call it the Seattle of the South. When you look at the rain measurements, that Seattle's right up there amongst. Tallahassee's right up there amongst the most rain-soaked cities in America. The pedestrians being struck by vehicles statistics are alarming in Tampa. It happens all the time.
I can see it. I have seen it. Not somebody get hit, but That guy could have turned left instead of
Well,
turned
it would
right.
have been you.
And he would have been in the face of the apartment building.
And you would have been in the statistics.
Yes, I would have. But I still walked anyway this weekend.
I'm so proud of your risk-taking over the weekend.
And I was
the
holding a
Gasparilla.
big box full of booze for the second wave of the party.
That sounds like Tampa.
That
sounds
it
like
was
Tampa.
about a mile and a quarter, but it was a big. Yeah, my arms they're still
Good
tired.
thing you're working out with Bill Fredericks.
Oh, the Frequency XP Project.
That would have been-
Facebook.com/Frequency XP.
Well played, sir. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos Burritos, baby.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history.
January 30th, 1996. Magic Johnson made his return to professional basketball after retiring 4 years earlier when he learned he was HIV positive. At 36 years old, Magic played 27 minutes, but was able to put up a very respectable line of 19 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds as he came off the bench in a win against the Golden State Warriors.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. John Wall scheduled to undergo an arthroscopic procedure on his left knee, and the Wizards are expected to be without the all-star point guard for up to 2 months. He's been experiencing inflammation and soreness since November in his latest knee issue. The newest Pistons, Blake Griffin, Willie Reed, and Bryce Johnson won't play tonight against the Cavaliers. They need to undergo physicals and won't play until Thursday against the Grizzlies at the earliest. One day after the Indians announced they'd no longer use Chief Wahoo as a symbol after this season, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he didn't see anything changing with the Washington Redskins nickname.
Native Americans do not take that in a negative fashion, the Redskins logo or the Redskins name. The Redskins, they've done a tremendous amount of work here, and I think Dan continues to believe in the name, and I don't see him changing that perspective.
Roger Goodell on Golic and Wingo. He was citing a Washington Post poll from May of 2016 that said 90% of the 504 Native Americans it polled did not find the team's name or logo offensive.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Something weird happened over the weekend. And I was unaware of it because I was at the game, but I began to get an awful lot of texts about it, and we looked into it. Actually, Tom looked into it today because he was out of town, and he was watching in crystal clear, high definition on the famed WTOG, Channel 44 down there.
Which is now a CW channel, yeah.
Yeah, good old CW. So the thing of it is this, a lot of people who could not make the game for whatever reason certainly wanted to be able to watch the basketball game, the one, Florida State versus Miami, that was played on Saturday, and they could not. If they had DirecTV, they certainly couldn't, and they noted when they went to their computer that they could not stream the basketball game, and they said, what gives? It's only one of the biggest games of the year in the state of Florida, certainly, between two highly competitive basketball programs in the ACC, and certainly here locally, you would think you'd be able to get Florida State basketball, but the answer was nyet. No Florida State basketball for you unless you went to the game. However, if you had Comcast and you did frantically flip about, it turns out, and I checked on this later on, that you did find the game eventually, and quite by accident or desperation, on a channel known as Bounce, which I have never, ever heard of. It is not in high definition. It is in standard def on channel 210. I guess that's WTXL 210.
Yeah, it's a digital platform. It's like their secondary channel. Yes.
Right. So Bounce is what that's called. So if you get into the 200, if you have Comcast and you flip around, you get into the 200, you'll find things like WABW, which is the kids station there, and there's a PBS affiliate there at 206. The weather is 209. But you're never there because you're in high definition in the 400s, and you're not bothering with that nonsense. But you're going to have to bother with that nonsense if you want to watch Florida State basketball tomorrow, because this is still an issue. No high-definition options, no options for DirecTV, cannot stream the game. And I suspected, but knew Tom would know more about this because what was it you learned about the Raycom purchase? Well, now, tell me again why people in Tallahassee are suffering from this.
Yeah, this isn't necessarily, because I put it out there and I asked the general question. We've had this issue before where Florida State basketball games this season have been on this Bounce channel, but now that the stakes are getting higher and the games are becoming more high profile.
Yeah, I was going to say, I never heard anybody talk about this game was only on Bounce.
They did a bit, but we were those nights at the ESPN Tallahassee Corner Pocket Executive Suite, and so perhaps we don't hear those cries.
Well, the Vista was much better than that of Bounce.
Well, it was, and I can somewhat understand to incentivize, people to go to the game locally or something along those lines, because in other markets it's not that big of a problem. You either have it on HD or you have it on the ACC network that you can stream. But the problem here is that obviously Raycom still does ACC network broadcasts, right? The Hogwood era is still in full force. Because we don't have that TV network that we were promised years ago. It's coming. It's still coming eventually.
They never told you it'd be here by now. You got time.
So Raycom is still doing it, but Raycom now owns the TV station WTXL in town. So as you might be able to infer from that, if we were running Florida State Raycom games on Fox 49 or the CW, which are part of the same network, perhaps Raycom would want it in-house.
Right.
However, and this is what I don't know, so I don't want to be unfair to WTXL. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's their fault.
Well, I don't know if as a broadcast affiliate of ABC, which is what they are, obviously, if you have to carry primetime programming, so what they have for their Wednesday night lineup, because that is, primetime is when you get your ratings. I don't know if it's a decision about. I don't know if it's a decision about what to watch, and there's a gatekeeper there locally who says no, we're putting basketball on our tier 2, and we're going to keep our network programming on our regular TXL. Or if it's they have no choice at all. I don't know the nuance there. All I do know is that there is no secondary WTXL HD channel, so we're all screwed even though people throughout the Southeast can get this game, not in Tallahassee, in HD. Moreover, we're not allowed to stream it, and that's where it becomes BS too. If
you live in Ocala, you're in luck. If you live somewhere near South Florida, you're in luck.
In a lot of cases, yes.
If you live in St. Pete or Tampa or Jacksonville or Orlando, just tune on in crystal clear high definition to watch your Florida State basketball. But not if you're in Tallahassee, Florida.
Correct. And there have been instances in the past where Tampa gets screwed out of a game and they can't black it out because there's a couple of weird things going on. So there's local programming that's on WTOG and there's CW. It happens across the Southeast. But, in the home market, it would be nice to be able to watch the sport crystal clear, or at least have the option to stream it on the ACC network, the ESPN package. Now, maybe Florida State's made some calls and said, this is complete nonsense. Well, it's a road game. What the hell are we doing here? And maybe it will change. But as it stands right now, Tallahassee's not allowed to broadcast the game because it's available to you on TV. Yeah, in this place that nobody gets or nobody wants to get.
I desperately miss the days of good old Sunshine Network when back in the day my man Tom Block, Barry Milligan, and others carried the time and the day and the games and the highlights, and we could sit back and know that anything that had to do with Florida State, Florida, Miami, something in the South, sports-related, whether it was basketball or certainly college baseball, we could watch it on Sunshine, which is now known as Fox Sports Sun. And no. If on Saturday, out of sheer desperation, you turned to Sun, you saw Arizona playing somebody in something you don't care about.
Right.
No longer is that in any way dedicated to anything to do with the state of Florida.
Well, and that was the farce of the whole ACC deal, which is in the beginning, we had to
give
away
up the
third-party rights. Yeah. And Florida had just joined the SEC network, and so there was an opening. I don't know if we were going to command the $10 million a year that they were because they were operating at immense efficiency for both football and basketball at the time, so that's probably how they threw their weight around, but we don't even have that option. And I get it. The game will be on television. We'll have to watch it in standard def, but it's so stupid that the rest of the state can watch our game on a Wednesday at a level and quality that we can't, and we don't have the recourse to stream online.
There's nothing you can do. That's the hard part. It's one thing to say, all right, well, I guess I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to stream it or I'm going to have to go, but you don't have the option.
It'll tell you you're blacked out because it's on television in your local area.
It's crazy. By the way, it is always a friendly reminder of how great technology is in some arenas. When you sit down to watch a standard definition program, you are blown away every time. You really do ask yourself, how the hell did we see anything ever?
Well, and you can still pick up local signals with rabbit ears, like HD quality, rabbit ears. You could buy that, put the antenna in, and then you can pick up signals. And for a lot of cases, for example, let's say you want to watch the NBA Finals, and you don't have DirecTV and you have cable. Well, the signal can be strong enough to get the HD signal and picture clarity that's better than what your cable box would output because it's being compressed. So long story short, if you use the antenna, in a lot of ways, it might be a better quality broadcast for your TV. In this case, however, I asked a person informally on Twitter, and it's not 10 people, it's one, but he did the antenna thing this weekend because he has satellite. He said it came in so blurry that he couldn't tell what was a 3 and what was an 8, on the bug.
All he needed to know was that if it was being shot by Miami, it was a 3.
Right.
over and over again.
Is it 63 or 68 on the board? That kind of thing. He said, so you kind of had to squint. And it's just, why does it have to be a hard thing? Why can't you lift the restriction? Wouldn't the ACC want the best quality signal for the home market of a game where its team is on the road? It seems pretty common sense.
My guess is we're going to get an answer to that now that we've thrown it to the masses. There are many that either work within the industry or know somebody who does, and we'll get a response on that. And in the interim, just know this, it doesn't matter because tomorrow, no matter the reason, you're watching in standard def on something called Bounce. just so you know, and when you get panicked, that's where you go, 210.
Yeah, my hope is, perhaps the residential DirecTV or satellite experience is different than the commercial one. Because, if you go on your satellite receiver and you're at a bar, for example, say the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, and
imagine that one. You just picked it out of a hat.
You pull up Florida State, and it says, well, it's available on these 7 channels. Perhaps you can get it on a Southeast regional channel that's carrying it in HD. Sometimes you get lucky there, but you can't promise that.
I'm going to have to DVR something on Bounce, of all things, because I'll be doing the golf show on SiriusXM PGA Tour channel tomorrow while the basketball game's going on.
Well, you know what I do? Don't even bother, because then once the game's over, you can get it on demand in HD, but you can't watch it live.
I will do it. I will watch it in HD with the game having already concluded, and will largely ignore my phone, I can tell you that. But it's going to be hard, because if the phone's buzzing, that's either a really good thing or a really bad thing, and I'm going to be anxious to know which.
TXL, if your hands are tied, your hands are tied.
But not mad at you. We're not casting aspersions. We're just wondering what the hell is going on. A lot of people are wondering. We're echoing that sentiment. And there are also a lot of people who thought, well, maybe I just screwed up. Maybe I couldn't find the game, and I didn't have enough time to sit there and dissect everything. So just so you know, tomorrow night when you go to the traditional way of watching a basketball game, whatever channel, 434, 435, 402, 403, 396, I'm giving you Comcast.
Spare
station.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not going to be there. It's 210. Bounce. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
As well as all area first responders, including police, firefighters, and paramedics, now through Wednesday, January 31st, by giving away free $50 gift cards to these American heroes. These gift cards are good at over 25,000 restaurants nationwide and over 40,000 online choices. So please come to Kraft Nissan now through the end of the month for our first ever Hero Appreciation Week. And because this is a very heartfelt week for us, Kraft Nissan will offer the best deals on all of our new and used cars and trucks to all of our customers during this event. But just for joining us, Kraft Nissan will give a free $50 gift card to a local military or first responder with no purchase necessary. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. See dealer for details. Some conditions apply.
Severe nausea. So bad you think you might just vomit. If these statements describe you, and you've been diagnosed with gastroparesis, you might qualify for a clinical study that tests a new medication for nausea and the symptoms of gastroparesis. Qualified participants will receive study-related care and medication at no charge. Call 844-902-1212. That's 844-902-1212. This ad sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
During Aaron's anniversary sale, you're gonna be blown away. Get big lease-to-own savings on an LG 65-inch 4K TV, an Amana laundry pair, bedrooms, living rooms, and so much more. Plus, get 6 months same as cash with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. All month long, come to a participating Aaron's store and get 6 months same as cash. Or visit Aaron's.com during Aaron's anniversary sale. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Daddy J's excited. Hockey returns.
It's back.
In a big way, baby. Not only Lightning tonight against Winnipeg. Good matchup there. So glad we're playing much better going into the break there. Those last few games was a good uptick in, they had that lull where you thought, ooh.
Yeah.
Playing much better lately.
Well, one thing I saw on Sunday, and they actually wrote about it. I found this interesting, so there's some similar observations. But 86 on the Lightning, Kucherov, for the people who don't care. But Big Daddy J does because
I care greatly.
He's a blue Russian, blue and white Russian for the Lightning.
Yeah. Love him.
He's a very heady person. He gets in his own head when he's in a slump, down on himself, that type of person. So he can be self-destructive.
Can't have that.
Had a big day on Sunday, and he even said it's a relief. So look out for scoring to come from there.
All right.
Also, for anybody who's looking for, spreads, like just the line.
Imagine that.
Yeah. I don't know that it's been reported by media down there, but my people in Tampa say Victor Hedman may be available tonight already.
That is a quick return.
They say it's the fastest recovery from that particular injury that he suffered that they've ever seen.
So that is a major motivating factor if you're looking at the over here in the next, say, 4 or 5 games for the Lightning.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, all right. Crossing fingers. Let's hope it happens. And as we gear up, I might note, by the way, and everybody looks forward to this segment, so let me point it out. I don't know if you guys saw it last night. My man Brent Musburger was on with SVP. Musburger's making the rounds right now. The Las Vegas site that he runs that is fantastic on SiriusXM, VSiN, is really good. I listen to it all the time. And if you're a sporting guy or gal, it's a fun little station to give a listen to from time to time, channel 204. But it's starting to work, and I'm just happy for Brent because he's always loved it and has always vouched for not only the gambling aspect of sports, which has been largely ignored or shunned or swept under the rug for a long time, and yet the NFL and every other major sports league is great benefactors from the fact that Americans like to gamble on their sports. And he was saying for years, you got to come out from under the shadows, or from out from the shadows here and talk about this openly, because we can make sure that it's regulated in such a way that you don't have to worry about the underhanded elements that people closely associate with gambling. Nobody wants a game on the up and up more than the better, more than Las Vegas, right? I mean, they want to ensure that nothing shaky is going on. They're usually the first to uncover scandal. If they see line moves in such a way that's not normal, they're the first to go, whoa, what's going on in that Tulane game over there? Why did that shift so much? Why did all this money come in at the last moment on that? They're the first ones to point it out to ensure that things are on the up and up. Well, it's happening, and what you're getting right now is the U.S. Supreme Court is preparing to release a ruling that might very well legalize sports betting outside of Nevada. And by the way, in reading that story early this morning, I couldn't help but note Americans are expected to bet $4.76 billion on the Super Bowl this Sunday. That's, well, first of all, it's according to the American Gaming Association, if you're wondering, but that's 3% of the 4.76 billion wagered on the Super Bowl will take place in Nevada, according to the AGA. So the rest of the money is going to be bet with people who aren't associated with legal gambling.
Yeah. Offshore accounts and such.
What are they doing? Like, there's so much money to be made for everybody involved here. And to obviously, look, you look, quote, here's a great quote. I love this. local bookmakers will make out. Thanks to the federal ban on sports betting, Americans are sending billions of their hard-earned dollars to corner bookies, shady offshore operations, and other criminal enterprises, says Jeff Freeman, president and CEO of the American Gaming Association. The big question we're asking, is 2018 finally the year when governments, sporting bodies, and the gaming industry work together to put the illegal sports betting market out of business? We'll see. Is this the final one?
You'd never put the illegal sports betting industry out of business. That's crazy. Some people like their corner guys.
I love my corner guys. I'd like to make legal bets across the board at any time with, an upstanding.
That would be cool too, but everybody loves their corner guy. I think the websites would get shut down, like the Bovadas of the world, unless they were in on it, and they flip and they're within legal means. Nah, man. Because you got to worry about payout minimums and maximums and all that kind of stuff. That'll still be difficult. But if you can walk to, say, a stadium, right, on a Sunday.
They do it in England.
Right. And so you're walking in before the Bucks play,
Places
the Panthers.
Right on the corner.
Right. And then you could cash out on the way out. Hell yeah. Now that would be successful as heck. Or like the bars and the pubs. They have those little shops inside. That's perfect, like they do for the Open Championship you see every year.
America is one of the last standing major or fairly sizable societies that have a real problem with gambling and admitting to it and actively participating and promoting it. It doesn't really exist in other countries. I've traveled, and just about anywhere you go, you'll find right there on the corner little shops on the up and up, and the rules are written quite clearly on the outside. There's no haggling or anything like that. You go in, you say, I want such and such on Liverpool tomorrow. Okay, here's your ticket. Have a good one. That's the end of it.
No, but I was just at the horse track this weekend. It's quite simple. There's really nothing to it.
No, you either win or you lose. That's the end of it. You're the odds. You
won last one. Oh, that's great. Okay, would you like to turn it around? Yes, I would, in fact. And here's what I want to do with it.
Right.
Right. Here's your $1.20 extra, and then here are your 3 tickets. Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a little bit like the lottery, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, you just walk in, you buy what you want. They take the bet. That's the end of that.
Oh, imagine if customer service at the grocery store had it. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, the other thing I point out, and the reason I bring this up at the end of the show is, we have not forgot about you. Lee Sterling, my man, Paramount Sports, reached out to us earlier this week and said, are we still on for Friday? Oh, you're damn right, Lee Sterling. We are definitely on for Friday. Prop bets galore. And Tom loves this segment because Lee likes to engage in the oddities, the strangest of bets. He finds the weirdest props out there and brings them to our attention, which is fun for me too.
Silver medals for Switzerland in the Olympics, or points by the end of the third quarter. You know what I mean? Yeah. For Philadelphia.
You do your
Philadelphia.
Just Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You do your research on those, and it's a lot of fun. So it's good to see, for Big Daddy J's purposes, that the NHL across the board there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 games tonight, or is it a full slate?
Usually Tuesdays are full slates, but with reintegration of the break, I'll have to pull it up.
I don't think it's a complete. No, it is. It is. You're right. You've got it correct, sir. Chicago.
Wednesdays are the light night typically in the NHL.
I am excited. Hey, and this is another aside, by the way. It really has nothing to do with anything, but does it feel like January is fighting for all it's worth to hang on and remain January?
Yeah, it sure does.
Sweet Jesus, it feels like the 28th, 29th, and 30th, and the 31st tomorrow. All like, no, you can't have February. We won't let you get to February. I feel like I'm kicking through this wet box that I just, I'm trying to get out. I can't get out. I'm stuck. Cardboard, Tom.
Of course.
Just kicking.
Yeah.
But it's thick enough that you can't quite. Can we get out of January?
We will.
And January has done nothing wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong
I'm
with
not
January.
particularly mad at January, but yet lately I get up, I'm like, are we still in January? It's like, as we say, it's like driving through Texas.
Well,
are we still in Texas?
Yeah, it's because you have
God,
5.
dog.
Well, because you have 5 Mondays. If you ever have 5 Mondays in a month,
pisses you off.
That's what gets you angry.
These are the things that
5
reveal
Tuesdays,
why
5
it is.
Wednesdays.
This is why you get angry when you get old. There's the dumb things. Because there's always something coming or going. So that's the deal, right? And I'm always talking about trying to live in the moment because that's the key to satisfaction. And yet I'm really guilty of always kind of, I see February's right over there. I'd like to get to February. It feels like we started new together. All right, February. I can't get to you, February. January's holding me back.
I do like the longer months for this reason, though, because we get paid on
the extra payment.
Well, we get the 26 period,
right.
not twice a month, but 26 pay period. So it feels like you get paid an extra time in the month.
Yeah,
it's not true. You just get paid every 2 weeks, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel.
But the illusion, I like being lied to. I like lying to myself in this particular circumstance.
Most of us do. That's true in a capitalist society. But I got to tell you, I've been angry lately. Waking up in the morning going, just another endless January day. Someday we'll reach February.
Man, we got snow this month. That was awesome.
It felt like a year and a half ago. That snow. By the way, my son got angry with me. Clark saved some of the snow, and he put it into a cup, and he put the cup in the freezer so that he could have Tallahassee snow, and I threw it out. I was tired of looking at it. It had been sitting in that corner for however long we got the snow, like 7.5 weeks ago, and I was thinking, I saw it. It was taking up room. Our freezer is filled. I don't have room for this whole snow.
So you have the loaded freezer.
I have the loaded freezer.
Okay.
Loaded. And so I finally pulled out the cup, and we gave him one of those new, like the old Polaroid cameras that are out now, which make a big comeback, so he can just run around and take a picture.
Really? They're coming back,
they made a huge comeback. You take Polaroids, you pull them out right there, they're developed. It's awesome. It's great. So, and he loves it. And it encourages artistry. He's out there trying to be artsy with his little Polaroid camera. But I took the camera, unbeknownst to him, I took a picture of the snow, and then I dumped it out into the backyard and put the cup in the sink. And he goes later on, Dad, where's my snow? There's a picture of it on your camera. I threw it out.
What's your favorite item in the freezer? Like, what's your little section? Do you have a little section with certain things that, yes, if they're a little low there, we need to get on it.
Probably, I really like this brand of salmon that I cook that you put on a plate and you put in the oven and you bake. And I get 2 of those a week that I usually wolf down. I'm a salmon-eating fool.
Okay.
I love it. And if I see they're getting low, we're low on the salmon, I snatch them up.
My favorite thing to find in the freezer, we don't often have it, every couple of months. But if you have the super pretzels, which I brought up a couple weeks ago.
You do love the super pretzel.
If it was purchased and it was unbeknownst to me, that is the most wonderful surprise.
There's a super pretzel. How about that?
I must have done good this week.
You've always liked the pretzel. When we go to sporting events, you'll choose to get the big pretzel. I don't think I've ever, in your presence anyhow, purchased a pretzel.
I think that's accurate.
I
don't know that you ever have. So even if you go to like a bar and they have like the pretzel with the dipping sauces, that never appeals to you?
Don't care about it at all. I mean, I don't dislike it. I'm not telling you that the thing you cherish I loathe. I'm just saying I'm indifferent by it. I don't go, the thing that's bad for you that I like but I never buy because there's no redeeming quality to it, but I do kind of miss them. I miss Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts,
I love a good Pop-Tart.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're cold, hot, doesn't matter. Love them both. Love Pop-Tarts. Used to always go to the Pop-Tart.
I'm very picky on the pretzel thing, though. You can't bathe the thing in butter before you put the salt on it.
No, but I like the salt. You got to have a lot of salt.
Like you go to like the place in the mall that drenches it.
Salt with mustard is where you.
That's fine, but as long as it's a dry baked crust, you can't do it with the.
You don't
baste it in the butter. It's just disgusting.
But there needs to be a lot of salt.
But it happens far too frequently. Many,
I wouldn't know.
The chains, they put the butter on it and you go, oh, what the hell is this?
Good work out of you, sir. Good work, Matthew. Big Daddy J's got no wagers tonight, guys. No wagers tonight. We're going to take it easy and see how the teams play coming off the break, all right?
A lot of travel for these guys.
Yeah, so Red Russians will have to hold off. We'll just get through this week together, and then I'll have a better feel what's doing what. All overs. Too many people are becoming dependent on Big Daddy J's bets, by the way. I got to tell you, this is getting a little uncomfortable. I'm getting emails, tweets late night. Jeff, did Big Daddy J post his over-under on the hockey?
It's on my list. I have a beautiful concept for the Big Daddy J sounder. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. It's a long season. The NHL is playing all year long, so we need it.
Well, and I appreciate that folks have been paying close attention and noted that it's not just me engaging in braggadocio. It's they're looking at the numbers and they're like, no, you are winning. We're noticing Big Daddy J is winning. He's not lying. I'm looking at the numbers. You're well over 500, Big Daddy J. We need these games. People are quick to become degenerate, and I've got them on the hook. I had a tweet come in at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I look at the time, said like, did you do the games? I'm looking now at these and wondering about tonight. Good Lord.
Everyone loves a winner.
We've become a one-stop shop, Big Daddy J, in the NHL, baby.
Room temperature cold.
Talk to you tomorrow, guys.